pussy.
Is it? And he plays and plays. And he plays all over your face. And I sing a song. And I sing it way too long. It is the intro song as we do the Changeling again. Hello. I am your listless host. I am one Danny Grandslam. And I'm joined with me today by one. What's his name again?
Grimscythe.
Yeah, this dude. Continue.
Hey.
Yep, not doing any content today. We're just gonna play music. Wonderful time.
Like fucking you will, mate. We were here for talking about us, the original fucking Changeling.
Yeah, I thought you was thinking. Alright, I guess we're starting instead.
Okay.
Alright. No intro music this time. We don't have the little musical accompaniment. We are going to do, for this channel again, another attempt at changing the dreaming. We're going to talk about the most unseelie of the two kits, the Sluagh and the Redcaps.
That's right. And instead of doing like the nice Grimscythe ASMR voice the entire time, I mean, I'll eventually do it a little bit through the show as it goes on. But, you know, we are here to talk about...
It's going to go less for ASMR and more for like, phone sex operator.
I mean, I'm a rock star. Freddie said I have to be, like, sexy. Whatever
It's
that
not
means.
the only thing he's a star in. He was wearing a pretty compromising androgynous outfit in our New York game.
I mean, you know.
All we need to do is very simple. We just need to shave his beard off, get him some long hair, and we can sell him.
Oh, God, why would you do that to me? Why?
All right, so we are joined by a bunch of people for this episode. All right, so
Yes.
going off down the line, I'm Johnny. That's Kyle. Over in the corner is Ryan, and we are joined with two different guests for this episode. They are both people who habit my server. We have Lieutenant Sec returning as Victor Chaos. Victor Cassandra, and we've got King, who is his own thing.
Yellow.
That's what
Yeah,
a king
for
should
Redcap
do, is
thing.
his own thing.
Yep. He's a very aggressive Redcap. We've got him on speakerphone, away from the studio in an undisclosed location, so he doesn't rip our skin off.
Hold on. Who says I'm going for skin? I like him with meat. I'm going for your
Alright.
bone and sinew.
I want to rip your jaw off! Grab the mandible with my hand and rip it off your head!
Exactly. Be respectful with it.
I really do love the Redcaps and Sluagh. When we were making Rage Coast New York, I wanted to involve the Changelings in some sort of way, and looking at Danny Grandslam, I am very happy with how his character turned out, and when I make an NPC that I want to use more and play more as, then I'm very happy with how he turned out. And when Kyle was making Dreamcatcher, I was very happy that he put a Sluagh in it.
Yeah.
Somewhere, somehow. And I've only ever played one Changeling game. I did not play Danny in it. I played a, what are the guys, that the inanimate, that's what I played as. And
One of the elementals.
A
one of
tree.
the elemental guys. I played a guy who was a porcelain glass doll in that game.
Oh, the mannequin.
And that was a fun game, but the next time I get my hands on Changeling, you bet I'm playing as Danny for that entire game.
There
Now-
can't be more than one red cap. I'm sorry, man. We'll have to fight over that.
There can only be one!
So it's
got to have 4 fingers in my mouth that entire game when I speak as him. And
Why not just
we
take a
begin,
teeth out?
yep, we begin with some
Lord, please make this stop.
Hey, you
We
volunteered.
begin. There he is. You'll have you'll have a cheeks either, Victor. Okay.
The voices of Cassandra, the voices of Arcada are absolutely drowning my ears right now. I cannot understand absolutely anyone or anything. I know I should take a fat rip from my bong because I know I'm gonna go a little too violent. I think I'm going to frenzy any second now.
It's really sad when he drinks
Please
blood.
make these voices.
Silence,
Please, I
pothead,
really
the
need them to stop
alcoholic
right
is
now.
talking.
I'm getting absolutely pressed.
He's got to cover his
You
cheeks with his hands
buffoon
whenever he feeds
alcoholic.
because the
You
blood
just think
slips through
life
him
is all
anyway.
happy and giggly. I tell you, I hold the
Okay, where's my baseball bat?
henna and wait, baseball bat?
Son
Hey, give
of
that to me. I can
pothead, the
modify
alcoholic is
that
talking.
nice and well.
Now I have a
I'll be
question.
quiet,
Is,
alcoholic.
is this becoming static to anyone else as well?
Hey, Stack?
He's
No, I don't hear anything on my
he's
end.
clipping in and out.
It's part of the volume thing. It's also that you're on the phone. Let's begin. We are
Yes.
going to split this
Okay.
episode in two. Now, Kyle, I was thinking about I was thinking about doing these simultaneously, but I decided that's going to be a little bit too much to coordinate between the two of us. So we're going to go through the Sluagh first, followed by the Redcap history, because the Redcap is a whole lot easier to cover than the Sluagh.
Okay.
And then
They're
we
very
go
simple
through.
people, yeah.
We talk about their culture between the two different kits. They're very similar, which is why we're doing them in pairs. I decided that there's not enough changing content to do the kits one at a time, so we're doing 2 per episode.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
to be fair, certain kits are more widespread than others.
Right. And with the Sluagh and with the Redcaps, after we cover their culture, then we'll go into relationships.
Of course.
Yes, indeed.
And let's begin. With the Sluagh, what part of the world do you think they originate from?
If I remember,
Take a
Somewhere up north.
The Fae.
Russia.
I know the answer, but somewhere in the north.
Yep. Typically it's supposed to be
Russia.
Ireland that they originate from. But White Wolf decided that, and I do agree with this, every fairy tale has their own interpretation, their own spin between all the cultures. And with the Sluagh, it's not just the Irish creature, but it covers it's a blanket species, so to speak, that covers multiple fairy tale creatures. So they start them off in Scandinavia, get a Fenris country. As
Makes sense.
Graham, I bet you had a fun childhood having to look over your shoulder for the Sluagh. Told you don't travel out too far into the woods, because it's not going to be the worm you have to worry about. It's going to be the people with black eyes and black hair. Fun times,
Yeah.
right?
it's okay.
They were a little freaky back then.
Look,
Yeah.
the spiders don't bite anything that's bigger than them. They're actually very intelligent creatures. You just have to take care of them.
Now, you might be wondering, why do all Sluaghs sound like this? We'll get to it. We begin our story. What year is this? We always get weird starting times with every White Wolf book. We're just going to refer to it as the blanket statement of ancient time. So, changelings come around, the union between man and fairy spirit, where I believe I told you guys about this already, that when you're a changeling, you technically have a split mind. Your 2 brains occupying one body. You've got your human self and all of your memories, and simultaneously the memories of every fae you reincarnate as. That's
Not
what you're living
necessarily.
with. And with that in mind, you're technically getting overridden whenever you become a changeling, but don't think too hard about that. The reason I'm thinking about it so much is because I've been rewatching all of Yu Yu Hakusho lately, and that's exactly what Kurama is in that story. He's simultaneously a 15-year-old student and a 500-year-old fox spirit. And it's interesting to see the 2 halves interact with each other. But the Sluagh would come into existence through the human concept and fixation of fear. Fear of the night, fear of what's creepy and what's crawly, fear of the sick and diseased. Fae spirits would merge with human bodies and become the Sluagh. Now, in what order did the changelings really come into existence? The She came first. They were always first. And they say the trolls came before them, and then it's kind of an anachronistic mess with everyone else, but the Sluagh came into existence. And they lived the same way they were born, through fear. Now, here's a little experiment for you. Anyone who wants to do this, get up, go to your light switch in your room and turn it off. Now think to yourself, how quickly did your room just fill when you turned it off? When you turned off that light?
Instantly.
Instantly. Same thing with you reaching a hand into a dark room that you know is empty. Feel how quickly your mind will fill up that room. I'm going to bring up creepypastas a little bit here and there. There was one I remember reading called Primal Memory, where it said, oh, you notice that humans have fear of creatures with long teeth, pale, emaciated bodies, long black hair, sunken eyes. What creature caused us to all fear that trait in particular? That would be the Sluagh in this instance, where, you need glamour to live. The thing that kills a changeling and kills a fairy is going to be banality. What's boring and meaningless. So, how precious of a feeling is it to you to be scared of something? Do you value being scared? Do you think fear is something important to have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fear is actually a very important part of the human condition.
After all, it
Yeah,
tells you
but only in moderation, I believe.
what
too
is
much
dangerous. It tells you what
holds
you need to
back.
protect. This is something that's essential to have. The Sluagh know this is essential, and they saw, as a people, the importance of fear. We need you to fear in order to protect what's important to you. We need you to fear to avoid danger that's worse than us. We need you to fear as punishment. The Sluagh took it upon themselves to become this dark face of justice, who would go around and administer justice to the wicked. Every changing book starts with a little fairy tale. Their fairy tale starts with them traumatizing a boy by almost murdering him. That drives across upon the Sluagh.
Yeah, basically.
The name of the game is pretty simple. And they did their job pretty well in Scandinavia. They gave everyone the genetic memory of fearing something with dark eyes and black hair and pale skin. Then they realized that not all the world fears them. So they left Scandinavia and started heading south towards Eastern Europe, along with heading towards Ireland and England. Not so much Central Europe and Western Europe. It's more Sluagh HQ would eventually become Eastern Europe. Now, what lives in East Europe around this time? Take a wild guess.
Shadow Lords?
Yes, exactly, the Shadow Lords. So guess who this...
Nice.
So here's a little fun thing to think about.
Not nice.
Who inspired who? Because as we know, the Shadow Lords use fear as a weapon to establish their authority and to freak out the enemies of the worm. No, the allies of the worm, sorry. So who influenced who in the situation? Did the Shadow Lords get their tricks from the Sluagh, or were the Sluagh copying the Shadow Lords?
If you were to go with a more realistic historical setting, the Shadow Lords got it from the Sluagh.
Exactly. Guess which being is older? Because the Sluagh were around before the Shadow Lords were formally organized. So that's a little fun bit of context for all of your werewolf games. So you're playing with the guy that would eventually influence the faces of Crow and Typhon amongst the Shadow Lords. Now, going down the line, everything is fine and dandy with the Sluagh, except, I don't know, a few chatty Cathys amongst the Kith. What do we know about Puka? What do we know about the Korax? They like to talk, right?
Yes.
They like to go around and share information,
Gossip.
despite whether or not the information is actually true. Which led to a lot of bad omens and bad rumors being circulated about the Sluagh, where it wasn't that they were faces of punishment, it's that they were faces of chaos entirely. I remember there was a Japanese yokai called the Hakutaku, who was a bringer of bad omens that would warn you when disaster or chaos was about to strike. But then it became associated with causing the same disasters and omens that it tried to warn about. It's doing you a service, but you think it's the culprit. That's what the Sluagh were seen as. So when the Sluagh were seen as that, they said, all right, if you're going to see us as bad guys, then fine. We'll be the bad guys you want us to be. The Sluagh went from being good people who did bad things to morally gray people who did bad things. And now we've got the most anti of anti-heroes in World of Darkness brewing.
Feels good to do bad
Yeah,
things.
It's that we went from punishing children who did bad things to, oh, we see a kid we don't like, we're going to shoot him with blow darts and then drag him off into the woods and torture him for a day before sending him back to his family. That's
That'll
what they're
teach
doing
him.
now. And with the stress of being seen as bad people on their shoulders, the Sluagh start doing worse and worse things until disaster struck. Highland Summer Night came around one year. It's a little ambiguous as to when it happened, but the Sidhe saw the Sluagh as nothing but horrible, terrible people because of what they were doing, and they were cursed as a Kith. They lost their voices. They say, you raise your voices to cause fear and chaos, so we will take away your greatest weapon. And now every Sluagh, when they speak, sounds like this. Cal, that's your cue.
Hi, I'm Grim. I mean,
Dude, let's do a little whisper.
Why,
This is
hello
as loud as
there.
they can go. That's exactly what the
just
Sluagh sound like now. They literally cannot raise their voices. You're always speaking at mezzo piano or piano, never forte or mezzo forte.
Yep.
In terms of singing language. And well, if you want us to be bad, then we'll be even worse. And then the Sluagh go from morally great people doing bad things to bad people doing bad things. They're very close to Wormish in nature, but they don't lose control. They still recognize that we are only going to target the guilty, never the innocent. So they're not nice. No Sluagh is really a good person. But they're the evil that punishes evil. They're the necessary evil in the world of darkness, which is interesting to me. They have a lot in common with the Assamites in a sense that way, where the Assamites only ever target other vampires or contracts. And you'll see more parallels between the two as we go through this. Now we have to talk about the Middle Ages. The Shattering is right around the corner. Arcadia is soon to close, but before then, Kyle, who ruled the world around this time?
Like before, while Arcadia was still open?
Yeah, the Middle Ages. Who was in control?
Catholic Church, really.
The Catholic Church, exactly. And what could the Catholic Church do to you?
Oh no.
Whatever the fuck they felt like.
Ruin your life, exactly. So, the Sluagh gained a new target. You see all those La Sombra and their ghouls doing whatever they want for the sake of money? We're going to torture them. That's what they start doing. They start targeting figureheads of the Catholic Church in particular. And then when they realize that it's not just the Catholic Church, it's the aristocrats, they start targeting them too. And they step their game the fuck up. What they'll start doing is that they'll start doing scenes from The Godfather, where you wake up in bed and there's a severed head of a horse on the pillow next to you. They grab you in corners, and the tithe money that you just extorted with your fire and brimstone speech in church, they take those same corns and they forced feed those to you. And then imagine shitting those out the next day.
Good
They
Lord.
start doing shit
that's
like
a
that.
wonderful prank. Oh, that's a wonderful prank. Holy shit.
Along with taking bottles of sand, and while you're sleeping, they come up to you with the bottle of sand and then pour the entire sand bottle into your throat and suffocate you while you sleep. And it's around this time that the Sluagh stop punishing and start killing along with their punishments. Now the Sluagh have no qualms, no limits as to what they're doing. After all, what do they have left to lose? If you punish a child and you take away everything that child has, what's going to stop that child from acting out? You've taken everything away. The thing that child that has left to lose is their life. So, no consequences. I've got nothing to lose. I've got a world of difference to gain. Hurting people makes me feel good. That's what the Sluagh start doing.
Oh, hell nah. Hell
And
nah.
yeah, they become abject psychopaths during this point in history. And they gain a little nickname for themselves. They're called the Abbey Lubbers and the Buttery Spirits. Very sharing the same name of the folklore of the same kind of malevolent fairy spirit who would hang around the abbeys at the Catholic Church and just do whatever the fuck they wanted. They gained a small synonymous connotation with demons around this time because of them targeting figures of the Catholic Church. Now, how did the Catholics live with this? They thought that the best way to appease the Sluagh would be to feed them, but the only thing that they were giving them was sour wine, bread with mold on it, milk that was turned into cottage cheese. The thing was is that the Sluagh took it. Why did they take it? It's because the Sluagh like what's nasty. They like stuff that reflects the inner darkness that they all have. The Sluagh are attracted to the weird, the macabre, the morbid, and the disgusting. They have a very what?
They love the creep factor.
They love the creepy factor. They have a very 90s gross out sense of humor too.
That's why I put him in the band.
They watch Ren and Stimpy and Mega Babies, and they love every bit of it. They think, don't
forget. Sorry.
Don't forget what?
Oh, and don't forget Invader Zim on top of that.
Invader Zim, along with what else? Like the 90s Tex Avery, which was just nothing but gross out and spit and snot. The Sluagh think that's hilarious.
Yes.
And I don't see why that sense of humor took off the way it did in the 90s. Because did anyone actually enjoy that shit?
I did as a kid. I did. Mad Comics, Garbage Pail Kids. I fucking love that shit. Maybe that's why I'm so demented.
Finding charm in the disgusting.
I was more a Bugs Bunny guy growing up.
Yeah. Like you just said, there's a distinction between being just plain out disgusting and just creepy.
Yeah. And the Sluagh will also like that too, because who were the friends of the Sluagh? Nobody. Nobody wanted to be around the Sluagh. No Kith wanted anything to do with them during this point in history. So who were your friends? The alley cats, the rats, the spiders, the cockroaches, the vermin that nobody wanted. They found a kinship with that. Now, you wonder, why is the image of the Sluagh a spider? They have no connection to the Weaver, where that's what I thought the first time I saw the image, is that, oh, you have a Weaver connection. No, it's because spiders are fucking scary. And that's what the Sluagh like. They like stuff that's scary. They like stuff that's going to make you feel disgusted. That's what they like. The Sluagh are trolls, more so than the trolls.
Yeah, they really are. They're the ones that post gore in the B thread.
And they go around and they'll go ahead. They just go and leave nothing but mean, nasty comments in the YouTube pages. Or if they find out your relative died, they'll just harass you on Twitter over it.
Jesus.
Yeah, a Sluagh is the difference of the word.
Hey guys.
Why is there a spider on your head? And the Sluagh would say, why not?
Guys, you want to watch the Serbian film? It's good, I promise.
They're religiously sorry.
They send you a full copy of Boku no Pico, like completely uncut and uncensored.
No.
And they do that to piss you off.
It was like,
they're doing a good fucking job.
And after all,
that seems less like a Sluagh thing and more just like a general fuck you from that one in particular.
It does play into the Sluagh's favor, because how do you get glamour? Through strong emotion. So it doesn't matter what the emotion is, as long as it's strong. So you notice there was the unseelie and seelie courts existed for years and years. The Sluagh technically take over the unseelie court. That becomes their baby, their project, because of how numerous they are in the unseelie court. We look at the rules of the unseelie court. Do whatever the fuck you want. Glamour is free. Let no inhibitions get in your way of doing what you want to do. Nobody embodies that quite like the Sluagh. So that is their project. It's like the Venture with the Camarilla. it just fits like a glove. The Unseelie Court is where the Sluagh belonged. They didn't necessarily make it, but they live it. No, that's why it is rare to see a Sluagh outside the Unseelie Court. A Seelie Sluagh, you could be a vampire living for 1,000 years and you would never encounter one. That's how rare they
Actually,
are.
here's one thing I
Jesus.
mentioned in the lore book. This out of all the vampires, the Sluagh and the Nosferatu actually sort of accept each other's presence as much as you can with other splats.
Yeah, because in the Middle Ages, who
Perfect.
were sharing the same spaces? The sewers, the alleyways, the Nosferatu. That's
Yeah,
who
they
they're
still
running
do it
into.
nowadays. It's stated in the lore book that they occasionally will run into each other. Others look at each other and say, "You're creepy. You're ugly," and just nod and walk away with each other.
And then
Basically.
the Nosferatu, when they find out just how delicious the changeling is, might come after it. But the
Oh.
changeling is already several steps ahead of the Nosferatu because I don't know, they have cantrips. That will always be the discipline. I'd rather have a cantrip than discipline.
I'm not sure if you said this yet, but changeling blood to vampires is like opium. No, ICD. It's a fucking. It
It's
is a trip.
heroin.
It is a drug.
It's putting your tongue on a pile of fentanyl and surviving. That's the high you get from it. Where
If you drink changeling blood, you get the derangements.
yeah.
Me personally, I've always been. It's kind of ironic about me. I'm sort of a picky eater, yet not. I dare not to taste the blood of other supernaturals. I always found blood bonding to be absolutely disgusting. I'm not even kidding. It's like fucking your sister to me. It's really disgusting. I hated being in this
We
spot.
can confirm he's not a member of the Giovanni.
Yes.
Yeah, no. God, I got
Now,
uh,
with the Nosferatu on my
that's
mind,
another night.
what other supernatural would also run across the Sluagh? What other group? Take a wild guess as to who else they're running into. Wraiths, exactly. Where the forces of Stygia are coming their way. While with the advancement of the Holy Roman Empire and Christianity, who are they going to come across? The forces of Stygia, where the legions come across them and say, Lord Charon would like to take over this part of the world, and the Sluagh say, okay, we don't have a dog in this fight, okay, just go ahead, take over. And so Stygia and all their legions come over, take over the Deadlands of East Europe, turn it into Stygia, and what do Wraiths need? Pathos, in order to stay, well, not necessarily stay in the Skinlands, but use their powers, use their Arcanoid. They need Pathos for that. And how do changelings get glamour? By scaring people and causing strong emotion. So they form a communal relationship. They cause fear. Both of them cause fear. They both get the mana points that they need to fuel their powers, thus creating more mana, so to speak, in a game term. And yeah, one can't live without the other. So when the Shuddering does happen, the Sluagh become fully dependent on the Wraiths in order to exist.
Survive.
Because, boom, what happens next? The Shattering, where she closed the gates to Arcadia, and the existence of fairies is written out of consensus. And rapidly, all fairies begin to die. The only way the Fae can continue to exist in material plane is by bonding to a human body, thus the changelings.
Yes. Now, what changelings are exactly are a fairy soul in a human body.
Yes. And you have to bond with the two in order to exist. You lose yourself and retain yourself in a weird paradoxical kind of way.
Yes.
Now,
the downside about doing that is a fairy, you lose most of your powers when you do that.
Yeah, because banality is the thing in all humans. And that's what's keeping you from the crazy ass powers that some of the Sheet have.
Yeah, and you also forget the majority of your skills. For reference, like you mentioned earlier, fairies can't remember the past lives, but it's a special background called remembrance.
Yes.
If you were to ask a troll, for instance, who had 5 dots in the background remembrance, he could tell you, I could duel 50 different people with such skill and grace, it would consider it art. Now I can only swing my sword only so good I can cleave a building in half.
Right. I love what the trolls are able to do mechanically. It's ridiculous. And at first, the Sluagh are perfectly okay with the closing of the gates. They say, "Good, fuck the she, fuck the powers that be. We hate both of them because of how much they hate us and the curse they put on us. Fuck them." But here's the thing: when you lose one target that everyone hates, somebody has to find another thing they hate. If you get rid of, say, the reason why BreadTube is sort of cannibalizing itself is that now that Donald Trump is out of power, BreadTubers are turning on other YouTubers and each other. So instead of hating the she, every changeling turns their hatred towards the Sluagh. And some of them put an out-and-out death warrant on the Sluagh, some of them, where if you find a Sluagh exists, kill them. Fuck them. I mean, these are terrible people that do terrible things, right? I mean, they deserve their deaths. So, kind of sort of like what the Tremere did with the Slubri. A giant target is painted on the Sluagh's back, to where, yes, like I was saying, if you want to exist, you have to lean into the rates. And with the holdings, the cairns, so to speak, of the changing game, other changelings are invading those holdings, killing every Sluagh in it, and then taking it for themselves. That's the kind of life the Sluagh are living.
Jesus.
So you are fucked as a Sluagh. I mean, as a changeling, you already got it really bad. You couldn't have it any worse than the Sluagh in the Middle Ages. If you're playing a Dark Ages changeling game, you are playing ultra hard mode if you pick a Sluagh for that game.
Yeah, they're having a rough fucking time.
Yeah, it's like picking the Salubri in Vampire Middle Ages.
Yeah, I'm not
Or
sure
like
which
the
was
Silver
actually
Fangs
more worse,
anywhere.
being a Salubri in the Middle Ages or being a...
And
wasn't
the Sluagh just keep their heads down for 400 years after that. Because the minute you're found out, if a changeling doesn't come after you, then it's going to be a werewolf who wants your power, like the Shadow Lords wanting to steal your treasures and your shit in order to further advance their knowledge about you and gain your magic, or a mage coming after you, or a vampire coming after you, or I don't know, hunters coming after you. It seems that everybody's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Didn't Bonars, weren't they fucked in the Middle Ages also?
The Bonars they at least had the Ratkin. They had a friend at the very least.
Fair point.
Yeah, so and the Salubri at least had each other, and the Salubri did survive because they all just picked up their things and ran to Africa. You didn't have that with the Sluagh. They were cornered in East Europe because how many different groups did you have around you around this time? You had the Zimichi, Shadow Lords, La Sombra, Ventru, Silver Fangs, Red Talons, the Hermetics, the Order of Reason, the Church of St. Leopold, all these different groups that were trying to kill you around this time.
Jesus Christ, nine motherfuckers after you.
Yeah, so you needed to bend the knee to Karen if you want to live.
Yeah, to be fair, the Sluagh, even though they were being hunted, like you said, it had everybody enemies, they were based in Nosferatu, but even better at stealth.
Exactly, because
the Sluagh have two special abilities. If you were to pick them as a changeling, because it feels like this is a good moment to explain how they were to survive so long.
Tell us.
One, they're boneless, meaning they don't have any bones in their body.
Boneless pizza?
Yeah, you order the boneless pizza, they throw a Sluagh into your lap.
If I remember correctly, in the rule book, you can spit through anything long as it's at least an inch big.
Yeah, that's why they got Sluagh come out of your toilet with a knife. They'll scare the shit out of you.
So Skibbity Sluagh toilet.
Exactly.
Oh dear
and
God.
The second ability was because the Sluagh are basically insects, and they were basically very skittery and very observant. They it's These will get -2 and all difficulties to perception checks because they're supposed to be very aware of everything around them.
Exactly.
Cool.
And what becomes the signature cantrip of the changelings? Soothsay. They fully lean into Soothsay because if everyone's trying to kill you, knowledge of the past, present, and future would be a very good thing to have around this time.
So like auspice,
And-
basically.
Yeah, Soothsay is crazy levels of auspex. This is super auspex that they have, and
Yeah.
just about every Sluagh will take this. If you are playing a Sluagh and you don't take this, that's a problem.
Well, it depends what you are doing as a Sluagh. But for instance, with Soothsaying, this is 20th edition. It's called Will of the Wisp. You can just say, "I want," state whatever you want, and a wisp will take you directly to them.
Exactly. So that's how you're able to. With those three factors, the Sluagh are able to barely scrape by during this period of history.
Damn.
And now we fast forward a story after 400 years of trying not to die. We go to the 1800s, and
The golden
get-
age for them.
let's get British for a minute. Let's get very, very British.
Alright, mate,
Um,
fucking up on Tuesday. I'm gonna be shagging your mummy while eating spotted dick.
Yeah, can I get it Foster's,
Did you
please?
know-
I'll be down driving me lorry all day.
Did you know that there's actually a cake or a pastry called spotted dick?
Yep, exactly. This man's
there's
telling me I
one-
got the clap. That's what he's telling me.
Yep.
So you had a few Sluagh in England during the Georgian era, but when the Victorian era comes in and rapid industrialization takes off in England, the Sluaghs pack up their things and quickly get the fuck out of East Europe. It's time to leave East Europe behind. We've got the Zamichi breathing down our necks. It's time to go. And when they then they go over and land in the most banal place you could have moved to. But
Dun, 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 dun,
But here's-
dun.
but here's the thing.
Life
They took
finds
a
a way.
page. They copied what the Nosferatu were doing by living in cities and found out
Yeah.
if we want to live, we got to live like vampires. But emotional vampires. We don't take your blood, we just make you feel like shit. So they all go over and live in London. That is the Sluagh headquarters. Just about every Sluagh has been to London in this point of history. And the thing is, London's got a lot of alleyways, a lot of sewers, a lot of dark places that nobody wants to touch. And it's a perfect spot for somebody with the traits of a Sluagh that we just described to live in. So
Mhm.
along with that, they notice, Charles Dickens, you wrote a book called The Christmas Carol, and it scared the fuck out of people who read it. We like you. They literally invite Charles Dickens. I hope I'm saying his name right. It's Dickens,
Charles
right?
Dickens.
Yes.
Yeah. They invite him to the highest honor a Sluagh could offer you, high tea, which is the freakiest, creepiest mad tea party you could go to.
Let's
And
go.
and Charles Dickens monopolizes the entire conversation. They kick him out of the room, but then they realize, hold on, that man had a lot of good points. We found a new way to generate glamour. We are going to go all in on horror stories. And that's what they do. They go over and whisper in the ears of guys like Charles Dickens, but along with that, Edgar Allan Poe. They influence stories like Wuthering Heights.
Mary Shelley,
Faust.
perhaps.
Yeah, and all they have Frankenstein. Oh, they definitely had a hand in inspiring that some way, shape, or form. They probably gave Mary Shelley a nightmare before that, and they bring up Lord Byron by
Louis
name in this book
Stevenson.
too. Oh yeah, all these different horror. You notice how many authors were able to name during this point, and now you begin to realize the Sluagh have a gigantic victory after years and years of misery. They permanently change Western culture through the horror story. And with that, the glamour starts pouring in for the Sluagh. they start going all in on printing. They get jobs as magazine editors, writing for newspapers, delivering to newspapers, going into taverns, telling horror stories, trying whatever they can to scare the shit out of people, influencing people like Jack the Ripper. Here's what the Sluagh are doing around this time. They leave the kids of the poor alone because child labor is the worst possible fate that you could have. The Sluagh say, you're suffering enough. We'll leave you alone. So they go after aristocratic kids instead and their parents. So all the stuff that happened with Ebenezer Scrooge, they're doing that, but in morbid ways. For example, we got an example in the book of a kid that loses his hands in a machine. They find the guy who owns that factory. They take the kid's bloodied mangled hands and leave them in the guy's bed for him to find. That's the kind of, that's the kind of fucked up shit that the Sluagh are doing.
So, like, Sluagh are responsible for, like, the entire spread of the Gothic era of literature throughout the entire Victorian period.
Along with that, the people that would inherit rich families, tycoons, new money, there would be people that would inherit the new money. They would look over their shoulder for the rest of their lives because of just how badly the Sluagh would torment them as children. You have all of the money in the world, but you can never relax and enjoy it because you're constantly looking over your shoulder for a man with black eyes and black hair to stab you in the back when you least expect it. That's the kind of torment they put the wealthy through. Now you're noticing they're beginning to form a kinship with the Brujah in this, and the Bonars.
Oh yeah, definitely Bonars.
Yeah, they've got the same targets at the end of the day. The Sluagh hate the wealthy. They hate the rich. And along with that, they also realize that working for the rich against other rich people also works. They start getting jobs as hitmen. And an entire Sluagh assassination network begins around this time. So that, the similarity with the Assamites, because once again, this is a dead silent creature that can slip through any hole. Imagine how good you are as a hitman. You just need to keep that piece of piano wire in your mouth as you go through that storm pipe. Then appear behind that guy, tear his head off with the piano wire. You're out of there before anyone notices what you've done. Perfect. Fantastic assassins.
Literally couldn't do it better than me.
They're making the Euthantori blush with what they're doing in terms of hitman work. And eventually, that was just the Changeling's life for years and years. And with the New World, why would they ever leave? They have it so good in Europe, why would they ever leave? They only ever go to America after the Civil War ends. When America begins rapid industrialization, the Union wins, and we abolish slavery, but the slaves still don't have any rights, and now we're going to create a new form of slavery called being a wagee. You think you win, but no, you just lost by another means.
We're free. We're free. Yeah, I wouldn't say free. More like
under new management.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You fucking free the slaves and then you don't give the slaves rights. It's a brilliant idea on part of the Union.
Yeah, good job.
I'm applauding.
I'm applauding. The shit I hear about the Civil War by people that don't fucking know history is that they're saying, oh, the Civil War started over slavery. No, it's like it was states' rights at the end of the day, because if it was about slavery, do you think the Union would have fucking given the slaves rights after that ended? I mean, why did we have the explosion we did during the 1960s? If it was just about that, if it was about racial rights, the Union didn't give a fuck about these people. So when I hear that shit, I just say, no, it was evil versus evil. You're just applauding for the guy that tricked you into thinking he was the hero.
That's how it usually goes in history.
You fucking chest my ass about that. Civil War, no matter who wins, you always lose. And
just look at Spain.
We can skip ahead of time. The Sluagh, World War II is already a miserable enough time. You don't need the Sluagh adding to it. So the 1970s come around. The Apollo moon landing happens, or doesn't happen, depending on what you think. And the She come back. Wonderful. Who the fuck invited you? Who asked you to be here? The Sluagh want no part in the She coming back, because the Unseelie Court, that was their baby. When the Sidhe left, the Sluagh were the Unseelie court at that point in history. So when they come back and they do the Night of Iron Knives, oh, it's on. It is on. The Sluagh are having no fucking part of that. They're on the front lines doing everything they can to kill the Sidhe. But as we know, the Sidhe have the cheat codes. They have their cantrips that are so strong, you fucking break reality, and nothing can stop the Sidhe. So by the time that the final stand happens in Manhattan, the Sluagh have already admitted defeat. They're looking for contingencies. But then the war just ends. It just ends after King David comes in with Excalibur and just ends the war. But the war never really ended with the Sluagh. The Sluagh are waiting for the day that they can go over and dethrone the Sidhe. That they can go back to the time before the 70s, because they were eating very well during that period of history. And with High King David dead during this point of the meta, where, he is dead by the time of recording 2024, the Sluagh are waiting for Accordance War Part 2 to start, so they can go right back to becoming the new deserving kings of the Changelings. So there we go. Once again, we began with the Shadow Lords, we end with the Shadow Lords. There are a whole lot of similarities between the two.
Yes,
I think it's pretty interesting parallel.
Where you notice that a lot of these groups influence each other, which is like the World of Darkness. Like the Silent Riders suck as a tribe because they take influence from the Ravnos. Yeah, it's because the groups influence each other because they live in the same place.
Yeah,
I mean,
and both the Ravnos and the Silent Striders are good, so whoever said that is full of shit.
They came from the same guy. Yeah, they came from the same fucking guy. I love you, Werewolf Den. I don't hate you at all.
Oh, God. I listened to a few of their videos. They made me cringe so much I could not listen to the past 5 minutes. I was like, oh my God. Johnny's right. This dude's foot is totally in his mouth.
We're not
head up the ass.
We're not being mean. We're just being honest.
That's us.
And
yeah.
And now we begin the Redcap half. Now, while the Sluagh were doing all of this, what were the Redcaps up to?
So, where the Redcaps begin.
Fighting.
Yes. Where the Redcaps begin is they were most people think that they started in the same kind of places that the Sluagh did.
Killing me.
What?
Now then. Now I'm gonna go on a little bit tangent here, if you don't mind me.
Go ahead.
How the Redcaps saw.
All right, tell us.
When you said the Sidhe came first, the Redcap said, "Ha! Only them, the trolls, and I think the Sluagh were the first fairies."
Mm-hmm. They do say that.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, because it's in their words.
I do like that changing history is a lot of old wives' tale, where you can never really know who's telling the truth with these stories. And it plays into her favor because it's a fairy tale. There's many different ways to tell the fairy tale. So it plays in Changeling's favor.
Yes. We're not talking about the Tale de Lear, the first. We're not talking about those people.
Yes.
But but when the Redcaps first thought themselves to be is when you look at the world thousands, I think 2,000 years away from now.
Yes.
And you look at mountains, you look like somebody carved into those mountains with a putty knife. Or chewed into them.
Yeah, story of Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, and it was and they were born from the cold and hunger. That's where Redcaps came from, cold and hunger, and they believe winter is their mother.
Kyle, you can verify that?
Yes, so that is how exactly it came about, is that they were brought up from the mountains and the rivers of ice. They were the mythical face of the brutality of winter. Not just the cold and the hunger, but most notably the wind. In the very early days of the Redcaps formation.
You're saying winter.
What?
It might be choppy for us.
It's basically the cold. Their mother is the cold.
Yes.
Exactly. And when you say winter, it's kind of like it's kind of apocalyptic talk too, because winter to them is the period of time where all glamour will leave the world. So from death the Redcaps were born, and from death they will return. Ashes to ashes.
Dust to dust.
Yeah, it's so. I love how this book begins. It's so spooky with the Redcaps.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. We should go over there. Hold on. Before that, we should talk about their short story. because this is interesting.
Oh yeah, summarize it.
Yes,
I didn't send it to Kyle, so yeah, summarize it.
it's in the original book. I'm gonna pull up my Redcap book is to correct myself when I indubitably fuck up something.
Right.
Basically, there's an old man sitting on a big rock in the middle of the woods, and there's a young child below him that's sitting below the rock in the middle of the woods. The old man's like, remember, do you remember? Shit, and the child's like, yeah, I remember my birthday. I remember how it tastes. I remember wanting to bite my dog. And the old man's like, no, remember deeper. And then he says, I remember the cold. I remember hunger. And the old man keeps pushing him and pushing him and pushing him to remember more and more deeper. Until he points says, remember the dark. Remember what you feel in the dark. And at a certain point, the child's like, I remember being hungry. And as soon as he came upon that giant cosmic revelation, he was like, I remember. Here we go. I remember. Parents telling the children not to go near the weeds, because if they did, they would disappear. And he says, "How do you remember that? I remember being the thing that made them disappear."
What the fuck?
It's so. I love how fucking creepy the Redcaps are. I love it.
Yep. They are a horror story.
So yeah, doing this quick story, they were standing so still. At one point, a squirrel just came up, and the old man just grabbed it and bit its head off.
I love it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's how our story begins, Kyle.
Yes.
Now what have you got for us?
So, it was during
basically. No, you go on. I just went.
During the first and second winter is how the Redcaps themselves took shape.
Tell us.
As King said, winter is the mother of all Redcaps. In the very early days, they used to be all white and gray to, reflect the landscape of winter and the proverbial color and shape of wind itself, which is why Wayfarer is a common cantrip amongst the Redcaps. In the very early days, the world was ill-prepared for the likes of them. And once as the winters came and went, they started to find other Kiths along in the wild. Pretty much everyone they came across, they would initially fight with just because that's what they would do. The fights either ended in a mutual respect for what the other Kithbring could do, or just détente. And for the first few years, everything seemed pretty all right, and then all of a sudden, the she had to come up out of the hills and decide, you know what, we should go ahead and make a whole social order out of this thing, as the she do. During the years before the she's appearance, there was sort of an unspoken understanding amongst most of the Kiths of the time. The trolls used to be in charge mostly just because they were bigger than everybody else and they could kick somebody else in line if they needed to. But then it was the she, once they had risen up from beneath the hills, that they started to build a structure for the Kith. When the she started to set up what would eventually become the Seelie and Unseelie courts, Redcaps were kind of divided into one of two different camps. They either didn't care and just kept on doing their own thing, or they fought viciously against this new, organization of the status quo. Of course, the she won, because if you can't rally the entire faction of Redcaps against the she, then you really weren't going to get anywhere no matter what. If half of them were apathetic to the thing in the first place, well, then you can't really do anything about that when somebody else tries to change something. And to the credit that the she, they were incredibly well organized and incredibly powerful, the likes of which no other Kith had seen up until that point. And then once they had established all the courts and divvied up all the fancy little territories and given themselves all of their fancy little titles, they put themselves on top of the heap, account of them being, as the book quotes, the more noble of Kithian souls. Of course, that stuck under the crawl of the Redcaps, because of course it did. Around about this time, the Redcaps are like, wow, all these she showed up and now everything kind of sucks. hey, what's that island across the water? So they go over and they meet these guys all painted, the ancient Celts, the Picts. And they see that they have these weird towers.
White Howlers.
Yes, they have these weird towers built all over the place called the Peel Towers. There were these weird defensive structures where they would only have one entrance where somebody would like walk up it in a ladder, pull up the ladder, and then warn everybody else that something was coming. But then people figured out that usually they were just built out of, mud and brick, and for whatever reason, the Picts would always bury somebody beneath the Peel Towers. Of course, they found out that these were actually very, unfavorable terrain because, a group of other miscreants would just, set up a camp around it and starve them out. So then, after that, they stopped using this as sort of defensive strategy. But because they remained as just, structures out there, tall, haunting, eerie structures in the middle of the wilderness, they became an excellent place for the Redcap to haunt. And, because they got off on, scaring people and killing people, people started to warn everybody else about these Peel Towers, and it was their nice way of having a little place to hide out and go out and, pillage and do whatever they felt like. Because, well, it's right out here in the middle of the wilderness. It's got spirits everywhere. People are scared of this place. This is great. And it was when they started going around just sort of, pillaging whenever they felt like that they began the tradition that gave them their name now, where after they would kill somebody, they would dye their hair in the blood of their slain enemies. And there was a proper way to do it in order to make sure that the blood shined just the right color of red, because dried blood, as the book remarks, is typically brown. But a Redcap that knows the proper ceremonial way to dye their hair after killing a foe, it comes out just the right shade of red, and is worn as a badge of honor amongst the Redcaps as a I have killed people, don't fuck with me kind of thing. And so they kept around, milling around, killing people, soaking their hair in blood, and hunting the places in the woods that were abandoned outposts, until, as the Romans advanced, as the Catholic Church went on. And of course, she got tired of the fact that the Catholic Church was stealing all their thunder, decided, this whole reality thing kind of sucks, so we're going to go hide in Arcadia. Are you okay? Can we come with you? No. Toodaloo. And the shattering happened.
Yeah, here's the thing.
What's up?
Now,
the Redcaps actually blamed the sheep for the shattering, even though that's not how it went down at all. But the Redcaps still blamed the sheep because they were in charge.
now here's the thing. You notice that also puts the White Howler story into a bit of perspective, because the White Howlers wanted the Fianna to break things off with the Changelings as soon as possible. So, with this group in particular having a big presence in Ireland, you're friends with a group of people who are eating children, have the ability to do that, and do that just for the sake of cruelty, and soak their hats in blood just for the sake of having a dick measuring contest, and go around and are the most violent and brutal people on earth, that have a condition of chronic hunger to the point where just them existing drives them to hunt and eat weird living stuff along with structures. You call that a friend. So you can see you can see why the White Howler said you need to cut this off today.
Yeah, but they're really good at fighting things.
I mean, to be fair.
Yeah, they were.
And the story in this book actually does it. It does give a good gesture how powerful changelings were back in the day, because a changelings. This is after the shattering. Right, the shattering happened. All right, we should probably explain this a little bit more, because from the changeling perspective, it became, when the shattering happened, freeholds and all places around there came wild, and changelings were weird because they didn't. Because this most of the time was the first changeling for every fairy. Because yes, it was a thing, but it was a dude. But everybody looked at it as like a weird thing. But this was in mass, and everybody was weird, and nobody knew what was happening. And during this time period, the Redcaps were pleased. They were happy. Everybody was scared. Everybody was throwing hands with each other. It was glorious. The first few centuries when this was happening. Well, the first few decades when it was happening, they were happy. And they were hired on as mercenaries. They took other people's stuff. They would just say, hey, I like your freehold. it's mine now.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in the
Yeah,
shattering, what's up?
So, big Geth energy in that.
Yeah. So the
If
Redcaps
only
saw
I
that
had
the
that confidence.
yeah. The Redcaps saw that the shattering was
Shattering.
coming long before everybody else. In fact, they tried to warn other Kith that, like, hey, we're probably going to get fucked over sometime in the near future. Granted, the Redcaps, as you said, the Redcaps' habit of, kidnapping children began to put them with odds of the mundane world. And like we said, it was them who blamed the She that decided the Fae shouldn't tangle with mortals, and they did it in a bid to protect their own land, according to the Redcaps themselves. And how they described the immediate aftermath of the shattering was that, it was unbelievable pressure, the likes of which that you could not experience. I love how the book puts it, actually. It's really funny. Let me see. There it is. Yeah.
This pressure was the thing that was killing fairies because it
The
felt like the
direct
pressure
quote.
was on their very being that
Yeah.
was grinding them down.
When they were talking about the aftermath, it was, you ever play Kill the Man with the Ball when you were a kid? The idea is to throw around a football and everyone piles on the poor bastard who has it until he coughs it up. Then the guy who gets the ball turns into the rabbit and the whole thing starts again. Now, if you're smart, you run with the ball until there's someone right behind you who's going to take you out at the knees. You turn around, throw the ball in his lap, and start the dog pile. It works like a charm if your timing's down. They never see it coming, and they catch the damn thing by reflex. Plus, there's always a herd of guys right behind them ready to pile on. But sometimes that doesn't work. You get hauled down before you can hand the rock off, and then everyone and his brother starts piling on. You get trapped at the bottom of this pile of bodies that gets deeper and deeper and presses down on you harder and harder. You know any minute now that you're going to start hearing things inside you snap, and even if you could breathe to scream, it wouldn't do you any good because the pile's too deep and they'll never get off you in time. That is how pretty much the entire Kith felt during the aftermath of the shattering, because everybody was scared. Everybody didn't know where to go or what to do or how to maintain their glamour in the regular world. They were all being taken by banality, and everybody was, they were all getting out together, or none of them were getting out at all. It was just a real rough time. But of all the people that managed to get out of them, it was, as the Redcaps claimed, the original three: them, the Sluagh, and the Trolls. They just and a couple of others that sadly aren't around anymore. And after that, they just ran on survival instinct. But as the dust continued to settle, and they realized that the She weren't around to boss them around and tell them where to go and what to do and what not to do, the Red Talons were like, wait a minute. No She, no territory, no titles. This is just like it was before the goddamn She showed up. This is great.
I know she called them Red Talons. It's because they're essentially the
Sorry.
same.
They're
essentially
very
the same.
similar. So, little Freudian slip there. So in the time between the shattering and what was later to come, they started slowly tying everything together with messengers between freeholds. Groups of survivors began to band together. Pretty much everyone was scared and angry. Those who survived either became good friends with other Kithians or just kind of fucked off. And the Redcaps were one of those who just fucked off. Of course, a lot of folks like that because, when you kill and murder people all the time, most people, don't like to get along with you. And because they decided to go off on their own, they started to explore the rest of the world. They went every single which way. But they found during this time, during the Dark Ages, that a lot of paranoia had taken place and chimera had sprung up left, right, and center from all of the nightmares that were generated from the terror of the Middle Ages at the time. So the Redcaps...
For those who don't know what a chimera is a monster born from bad dreams or pervasive thoughts.
Yes. And so the Redcaps
the original term of chimera.
Yes. The Redcaps are like, hey, there's all these goddamn chimera around. What if we hire ourselves out to go kill all the chimera? And they were like, that's a great idea, said the Redcaps to the Redcaps themselves. And so whenever another Kith had an issue with them, either Boggins, Knockers, whoever, they would go, "Hey, Redcap, I see you've got your fancy baseball bat there. There's a chimera terrorizing this town that I'm trying to help out. Can you go kill it for me?" And they would go, okay, can we stay in this freehold for a little bit and pay us some bread and money? Sure. All right, cool. You got yourself a bodyguard. So,
Ah, shit. Nice.
as time went on, the Redcaps began to just band together as the jobs got bigger and more dangerous. And as the bands got stronger, the Redcaps began to integrate into, what is formally recognized as the Redcaps today, the full Kithian breed. Still, they stayed around about the outside of society and formed a meritocratic societal order of sorts outside of society. That was until the Industrial Revolution. So
This will come back. Sorry. Do you mind if I go from here a little bit?
Go ahead.
This goes back to the original aspect, why one of the main reasons why people hate Redcaps so much. They're bullies on the fundamental level.
Yes,
Exactly.
100%. When in industrial society, who was the people that everybody hated?
The
The
rich.
browbeaters,
The Sluagh.
the rioters, the
Exactly.
overseers.
Pit bosses, foremen, chief engineers, teamsters, Pinkertons, anybody and anybody that the Redcaps could be, any position they could fill to put their boot on the necks of somebody else was exactly what the fuck they did. As the book itself describes, different sorts of dreams appeared during the Industrial Revolution. A sort of hungry and greedy dream to pull shit out of the earth and build a fortune on top of it. And the Redcaps were all for it because, they built their fortune off of putting their boots on the necks of the Chimera. And now, the foremen and the bosses are doing the same to people. So why shouldn't it be them? The Redcaps absolutely loved the Industrial Revolution. Once they would get into factories and say, "Hey, I'm a bruiser. I could keep these boys in line no matter what you do," and the factory owners would say, "Great, you're hired." And that was all the glamour they could have ever wanted. They loved it. They would do whatever they could. What's up?
I will gain power by beating the shit out of you.
Yes.
Yes. Now, this leads into the three powers that Redcap gets. Like the Sluagh, the Redcaps have a unique power too because they were built on the literal concept of hunger. A Redcap could eat literally anything. I'm not joking. They can eat anything from this side of rocks to nuclear waste.
All you need to do to swallow it is just spin a point of glamour.
Yes. And
yeah,
and the second ability that all Redcaps is because they were built from the gnawing hunger and the power of being an absolute dick. They can intimidate anything into existence.
So
it's even stated in their power, they will bully their car to work again.
So I could have in Ridgecrest, New York, if Grimm got confrontational with Danny, I was going to use that.
I would have liked to see that, in all honesty.
Yeah. It's a metaphysical power of intimidation.
And with those teeth, by the way, this is the reason why that the treasures in this book are kind of lacking. Because I think White Wolf had the insight to realize, if we gave you a maw that can eat anything, why are you going to put points into the treasure background? Why are you going to seek out treasures? We gave you a weapon that's basically a one-hit kill if you use it against a person.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's just power scaling.
Right.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Now later in, near the end of this book, we're gonna get into all the powers and tricks and how that interacts with other changelings near the end. But right now, let's talk about and their second power, which is their flaw, because they were built on the concept of hunger and being a bully. They get the thing called bad attitude. They just talk with a pure level of menace that just irks people the wrong way. They curse you out. They'll threaten you. They will throw hands with you. They will bite you.
They're like Shawn Michaels or a WWE heel in how they act. Where
that's what makes them fun.
Every changeling you play as a Redcap, you are going to talk shit at some point in the game. But the thing is, you can back it up because of just how naturally violent the Redcaps are.
Yeah. And
I
this
mean,
Dang.
it's in the name.
yes, and this leads to here's the thing. This is the part I wrongly told you about Redcaps doing this for the wrongly. No, the Redcaps are irredeemable bullies. They don't do it for a reason. They don't do it to be fair. They were born of the concept of hunger and being a dick and in an insensate and a sentencing that won't stop. So they are irredeemably worse people off. But here's the thing that separates them from the Fomori. They don't believe in complete destruction. It even goes to the thing about during the World Wars, the first and the second one, and why they hated it. There is genocide and there is fighting.
They want combat. They don't want to kill. The thing is, with the person you're picking on, you don't want to drive them to the point where they become hopeless, despairing, and desperate. Because if you do it in a school, what's going to happen to you?
They'll
That guy you're talking to is going to come to school one day with a knife at best, a gun at worst, and he's going to
Now
come
could be a
after
red cap
you.
that won't stop them, but that's not.
Yeah,
what they're there for.
that's
That's why you don't want to go for the destruction route. You don't want to tear a man down. You want to push him just far enough to where you enjoy it, and he's not going to snap back at you. That's what you
and
gotta
if they
do.
Here's the thing: they will. In the moment they punch them back, they'll say, "We can respect a man that won't take shit from anyone," and still punch him right back in the face again.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
You want him to fight back without trying to tear you down. You don't want to turn it into a zero-sum game when you play as a red cap. And the same thing too. You don't like what I'm saying? How about you nut up and you shut me up instead of just being a pussy about it? That's what the red caps want you to do. Stop crying, you little bitch. Just fight me. How about you actually stand up for
Oh.
yourself? So in a way, the red caps are kind of doing you a favor because it's the bully
Yeah.
that gets you to stand up for yourself and quit being sorry for yourself.
Yeah, and as much as we keep saying how the Red Caps are bad, too, they can, as much as they in this little book we may not be talking about as much. They shit talk the she from hell to back, but they say consistently they can respect them and they can follow their lead.
they
they
have
need-
honor.
It's kind of funny because they see them the same way that the
Blue Hog
Surfangs
eventually.
think other people see them as, or the Shi are a lot like the Venture in a lot of ways, and the image that the Surfangs have of themselves, where nobody likes us, but nobody likes the leader anyway. The thing is, we get results. The Surfangs can't get results, and the Venture get nothing but results. So you take the best aspect of the Ventrue and combine it with the worst aspects of the Silverfangs, and you get the Shi in a funny way. But the Shi but the honor of the Ventrue outweighs the spite of the Silverfangs in how they come out as characters.
And if you can describe the she, it's the pure pettiness that is them.
Yes.
A Shi will just curse you for whatever reason they feel like, but the Shi, you kind of sort of need them to survive in the modern day. It's a lot like a parasitic relationship.
We'll get into the she later, but every changeling is born from one fundamental aspect of humanity.
It's like
this is
Brexit
why
in a
in
way.
the Red Cap book, I give them actual credence saying the she weren't the first ones because the she are built on civilization, and civilization came later.
And was there anything else to this history, Kyle?
So for the 20th century, as King said, they really didn't like the war because unlike with, how they usually did stuff, pushing people around till they swung back, war was just a mechanical waste of life, the likes of which they couldn't fathom. And then, of course, when the Shi came back in 1969 and they reopened the gates to Arcadia, the Accordance War began, and the Redcaps went to war. And they were winning until Ardry showed up. And Ardry had his perks and managed to keep the Shi in check in the aftermath once the Accordance War was, settled with King David rising to the throne. But since then, the Redcaps have just been planning revolt. They're thinking, okay, the Shi are back again. Everything kind of fucking sucks now because we got to deal with their bullshit and their pompous asses. But don't worry, we're going to get them, and we're going to get them soon. So much like the Sluagh, the Redcaps are pondering.
Yeah, in the book, it says how we didn't lose a war. we were still killing them. And even I, as much as a Redcap fan, saying, no, you didn't win the war, my friend. If they were beating every other changeling breed in a 1v6, you lost the war. Stop it.
You got your asses beat by the Sheath. I mean, to put into perspective, imagine if every vampire clan fought the Tremere and the Tremere won. That's how bad Velocity is.
Dude.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's exactly because the She, they really do just have the cheat code powers. We'll talk about that when we talk about the She later down the line.
Yeah, they have the most busted magic in the game.
Exactly.
Which actually makes sense because in most of the time in changing lore, the ones who throw the most powerful spells are normally the She.
Yeah, was it Dragon's Ire, naming all these
Sovereign.
fun powers that break the game.
Oh yeah, also the power to send creatures through time and backwards through time.
So, Ryan, would you like to live with either a She? Would you like to live with either a Sluagh or a Redcap? Make for a good roommate, right?
How about neither?
How about neither?
No.
Yeah,
I want to live with a Sluagh. At least at the end of the day, I won't get punched in the face if I scream too loud.
Yeah, Ryan, can you imagine coming home with living with a Sluagh? And you live, and there's a fine film of dust over the TV and cobwebs, and in the corner of the room. And you go over to the fridge and open it up, and you find out the milk has been expired for 3 days, even though you swear you poured it out the day before. And the bread has got mold on it.
You just described my own living situation.
Bruh.
He's already living with the Sluagh.
Yeah.
I am
Oh
the
my
slew, I
God.
guess. Jesus Christ.
Know what Ryan's
can
doing
have-
if we play Changeling?
I have let bread go to mold because I haven't touched it. I would forget about it, and it'd just be sitting in the fridge.
Yeah.
You go out, you could throw it out into the woods and let the birds eat it.
Yeah. Now we talked about them about
The Korax.
how they're and everything. But let's talk about their powers and the merits they can get, which is the cool part.
There it is.
Uh,
King,
you guys-
may you cover merits and flaws.
I would like to cover the merit and flaws about the Redcaps. I know some about the Sluagh, but not enough. Okay.
Give us 3 of each with the Redcaps.
Okay, I'll start with my most favorite one and the most noticeable one. Granite skin. It's usually made out of granite itself.
Now, how hard is granite?
Very.
The Earth's core, right? I mean, that's the mantle of the Earth you're playing with.
Hmm?
It's the granite. That's the mantle of the Earth.
Yeah.
Like the thing that's preventing you from drilling into the Earth's core. That
Yeah,
fucking
granite.
hard ass stone.
Hmm?
And
And their second merit is basically as chicken's feet. It's a flaw really, but basically means chicken claws. Their legs is that of a chicken. No, they have chicken claws for hands. They have chicken claws for hands. It's a 3-dot flaw.
Ew.
Oh, did you know people eat chicken feet? Well, they like boil it or some
I
shit.
thought it makes
or
broth
something.
or something like that.
Yeah.
It's when you're in your fucking chicken soup. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like chicken feet, man. Shit, man, I bet that
I mean-
shit would taste like not taste,
And
touch,
there's-
Yeah.
feel
Now,
fucking weird.
now, with you talking about the chicken hands, all I'm imagining is Blaziken, the Pokemon, and
Yeah,
his hands.
exactly.
He heats up your chicken
Exactly.
soup by just
a literal
putting his
chicken.
hands in it.
You just soak your hands in the bathwater and then drink it. There it is. Redcap soup.
Yeah, and here's the
Oh
third,
my
the third-
God.
the 3-dot flaw, which is I find very funny and very thematic. It's basically if you can steal the tooth of a Redcap, which says a lot, get the tooth of a Redcap, and you were to take it under a full moon or just under a granite stone or rock, and you were to break it on there. Yeah. If you were to smash a Redcap's tooth on an altar of stone, it should instantly kill them.
But these teeth are
Oh,
hard to get your
God.
hands on. Because here's some perspective. Grim, if you were to take your Jarl hammer and you were to slam it into Danny's mouth, it would cause no damage to his teeth.
Yeah, for reference,
That's just
to go to their
makes them really
treasures,
strong.
train things do have the magical things they're called treasures.
Yes.
I'm gonna name a few, and the third
Oh,
one should.
Hold on, we got that reserved for Ryan.
All right, Ryan,
Yeah.
you tell us about.
Ryan, give us the 2 treasures you picked.
Dry dust and blooded gauntlets. There wasn't really much given.
Yeah,
To
because
me,
you're
even though
never really
there's-
going to use these because you got the magic mouth.
Yeah.
But-
It was like oh, that's one different page. I chose dry dust, which is a yellowish white powder that Redcaps carry in leather pouches. As soon as the dry dust is put into any sort of other container, whether it is a silk pouch or a piece of Tupperware, it loses all efficiency, efficacy.
Uh-huh.
No one quite knows why this is, and frankly, few Redcaps care. They just want to make sure the stuff works. What the dry dust does is simple. It makes whoever ingests it, must always be ingested with food or drink, but never by itself. Ravenously hungry and unquenchable thirst for a period of an hour. So for an hour, they are. It's like
It gives you pica.
yeah, you get really, really hungry and really, really thirsty for an hour.
I thought there was like a
It
D&D
simultaneously
spell
gives you-
that does that.
It gives you pica
And
and
there
it gives
is.
you alcohol poisoning at the same time.
Yeah, it was like in Sight Greed or
Damn.
something like that.
You notice that there's a few parallels with D&D in this, because if you're looking to play like a high fantasy or a modern day fantasy, it's kind of like Earthbound, this is the game you play. And what's the second one, Ryan? What?
Oh, sorry. Oh,
no,
I was
Murray-
about
Murray
to
say.
say the red caps make me think of D&D hobgoblins, with just their behavior and all that jazz.
Yeah, we're dicks and we like it.
Yep.
Redcaps are unredeemable assholes. It says this in law. They're not trying to be systematic. No. We came out the womb bastards, and we will come and we go out the womb bastards.
It's like that that video you see in elementary school. There's nobody more beautiful than there's nothing more beautiful than being yourself. And then the red caps take it in the wrong way.
Oh yeah,
And I took that personally.
I'm saying yes, there are female red caps. It's just that hold on. Here's one funny thing when they was talking about red caps in the book. There are female red caps, but it doesn't matter what your plumbing is. It just matters whether you can fight or not. And here's one comment which surprises me. Besides, female red caps fight dirty. What the fuck you have to do to be fighting dirty as a red cap?
You kick him in the nuts. That's what you do. We're gonna have Kyle quote Dingy. When I fight a dude, it's nuts or nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. Now we forgot to say this, but the most common traits amongst red caps is that they're squat and they have a wide mouth.
Yeah, the big mouth that they have. You still got that picture of Danny Grandslam?
Oh, the one that Vic drew?
Yeah, the one that he drew. Yeah.
I think I do. Let
Yeah.
me see. Where did I put it?
Because you made his like half his skull is his mouth.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I imagined him as, because I
Uh.
mostly listened to that campaign at work, and I was thinking, damn, this guy has big ass teeth. Let's make it to where it literally cannot fit his mouth at all.
Yes.
Because I have an AI generated picture of him too. Yeah, here's his updated headshot. Oh, I made this file huge. It's 8.9 megabytes.
Damn.
Here's what they look like. So
Venom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a very apt way to describe them.
Yep.
yeah, that kind of they all have Melina mouths when they come after you.
Yeah, there is also
Yep.
Yeah,
scare the shit out of people watching this.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the two treasures, which I love very much so, is both unique and legendary. There's one more, but that one really isn't that important. One is called a grinder.
Yeah.
My-
Ryan tells the other one after we tell about this one, the grinder. Just imagine what that does with that name.
Dripping
Yeah,
off
the
the beat
grinder's
kind
main
of
power
dripping
is-
off the meat grinder.
The grinder is basically you put whatever you want in a grinder and it turns it into food. And it says there are two things in lore that a grinder can't break down. One is treasures, which it says is when it's not that can't destroy treasures, it's that it recognizes what fairy magic treasures is. The grinder itself recognizes, it's a flaming sword. I won't break down a flaming sword.
Right.
And the fifth And the other thing is Redcap teeth.
And that's the two things that cannot destroy. And yeah, there's different mechanics in there too for putting stuff in there. It's about, what does it say, an hour for everything you put in, and you get a small multiplier for everything you put in. Like wood, it takes 50% longer. Soft metal, 50% longer. Bone, twice as long. Stone, 3 times as long. And hard metal, 5 times as long.
Oh
But
my
it
God, Mr. Depp. I could literally put my ex in there. Oh my God.
You need a body to dispose stuff, just call a Redcap.
Hell yeah.
One
Yep.
final thing. Yeah, sorry. One final thing for the Redcap's most legendary treasure is called the Winter's Blade. It's a scythe, but it's been foretold the scythe is so cold a cut with that will turn you to ice or freeze you from inside out in a matter of seconds.
It's a very
Ed's the
gnarly
Road
weapon.
would love that. Ed's the Road would love that.
Yeah, the minute you put a changeling in the game, we go to Rip Van Winkle and we find a changeling. I'm ripping that out of his hands.
Rip Van
You are not-
Winkle's too
dude,
far to the north.
But
Yes.
No, hold on. I'm warning you, do not steal the legendary weapons of the Redcaps. You will fucking you will get your shit rocked. if
I
you
am
do that.
fairly certain
What's he
that
gonna do to me?
exactly.
I am the strongest there is in America.
I
But what
think
about
that
Kanda?
there is actually
glad
like an
you put
example
in
of the
a-
blades
there.
here in the book on page 14 of Kith book Redcap, which I'm trying to upload my internet
Yeah, it
shit
looks
right
like
now.
a scythe. Yes, now then, we've talked about the Redcaps and all their special features. Now
Wait,
let's talk about the...
We've got one more treasure with Ryan.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Ryan. You
Yeah.
go on.
It's all good. It is the Blooded Gauntlets. I was debating on whether or not to choose the grinder, but I was like, oh, that sounds like there's going to be a lot to go into it.
Yeah.
So I chose the Blooded Gauntlets instead. And
Tell us
what they
about
are the gauntlets. They have the same relation to their more utilitarian cousins, just the regular gauntlets, which I believe is a level 1 treasure.
You'd be a man to death with them.
A regular pair of gauntlets, if there is such a thing, rends flesh and hooks bone. Blooded gauntlets, when in or on the right hands, do much, much worse. Blooded gauntlets look more or less identical to regular specimens, and it is impossible to distinguish them from what they really are until they are put into action. They have spikes and protrusion blades and hooks on them that are sharp and dangerous.
And
Hungry, apparently.
it's a perfect weapon designed for beating a man to death with your bare hands.
Oh, yeah. So they deal, you roll your dexterity and brawl, difficulty 9. That is really hard to use.
It is. It's heavy, too.
Damn.
Yeah, the things with that is, it's supposed to, if you grab someone with it, it automatically locks them in, and you can, in a Redcap can bite. Imagine this. The thing with Bloody Gauntlets is not meant to fight the opponent, it's mean the opponent can't run away from you.
Yeah.
Exactly. It sets you up for the instant kill.
Defenders' dodge difficulties are increased by 2. And when they try to any attempt to escape requires a strength check, difficulty 7. And the gauntlet does a level of aggravated damage as it is torn out.
It pinches into your flesh to hold you still.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You are ripping a blade chunk out of yourself when you free yourself from that gauntlet.
Yeah.
Now, with us discussing these treasures, I could have given Danny all these different weapons, but I was thinking, if I were to go full blood for the blood god and give him a blade, that would just result in his fights ending way too quickly. So instead, I gave him a baseball bat. And it's because Danny wants to take his time when he fights enemies with that. He'd rather beat you until a bloody pulp than to slash you or stab you once, and then that's the end of the fight. You know, let the kill melt in your mouth instead of biting down on it all at once.
A true sadist.
Yeah, you guys savor the food, like in
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Exactly that.
Ratatouille.
The thing is, though, that it sometimes took too long for Danny to set up a kill, and that resulted in him taking a shitload of damage during combat encounters.
He's a red cap. They can regenerate
Yeah.
way too quickly with fairy magic.
Exactly. Just cry on that wound, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now then, to the Sluagh. Who wants to start off with the merits? Because I think I started off with the red caps.
Talk about prehensile tongue first.
Okay. Prehensile tongue. After that one, no. Dexterous toes. It's a one
Well,
dot merit. It basically says you can do anything that you can do with your hands, to firing a gun, to playing an instrument.
you got
With
monkey
your
feet.
phone.
Oh, dude, that always kills the
Man.
crowd whenever Scythe plays his bass solo with his feet. It's sick.
Man, walking around with monkey feet. You got chip feet.
All right, now the one you requested, Prehensile tongue, 3 dot merit. You can basically, it's a dexterity plus athletics, difficulty 7. If you get 1 success, you can use that as just as much you can use any limb.
And there it is. And you got Lickitongue's tongue. You got a 6 foot long tongue in your mouth.
Oh wait,
That
hold
you
on.
can
And the
s-
most funny thing
That's
is,
kind of
Lick
Freaky.
upon.
Yeah.
yeah, here's the most funny thing. You must roll stamina difficulty times difficulty 6. If you don't get a success, you feel disgust for a single turn.
You're doing something disgusting already. That's the point of being a Sluagh.
Yes. Now this one actually goes responds to your thing. Dead Friends is a 4 dot merit. You can just naturally see rates.
Yes.
Which is great. You can always
Now-
see into the Shadowlands, unlike the Sot Shredders who need the gift for that.
Yep.
yeah.
Now you guys, we'll pick which merit you guys and flaws you want to talk about.
See what flaws? I can do the flaws.
Oh, okay.
We'll begin with 2-point flaw: short attention span, where apparently ADD and ADHD is just a thing with the Sluagh. You can't stay focused on one thing for that long, and there's a whole mechanic for it. You need to make a willpower roll, difficulty 6, to maintain focus on a task. Great, right?
Yep.
Let's talk about the oxymoron, loudmouth, where you need to make a willpower roll, difficulty 8, to prevent yourself from talking. Now, why is that a thing? It's because when you're as silent as the Sluagh, the minute somebody's giving you attention, you're going to dump information onto them. This is kind of like what you were saying before, Victor, about Malkavians being kind of like analogous with autistic kids. It's kind of
Yeah.
like with Sluagh, because I had the autism fucking bad when I was in middle school and high school. And the minute that I got anybody's attention, I would just dominate the conversation. I could not stop talking about shit that nobody really cared about. That's what happens with the Sluagh. That the minute somebody's listening,
yeah.
you just talk and talk and talk, and you just don't stop. That's what the Sluagh can do. So the last one is knows too much, a level 5 flaw. You learn what's considered to be a great secret amongst the Sluagh, and thanks to you learning that, you now got this target on your back. No longer do you see any good in the world or any good in other people. Nothing means anything to you anymore. Life is simply something to be endured before eternal darkness takes you over. This one turns you into a straw nihilist. This is the Sluagh going too far with their whole bullying tactics and their whole punishment tactics. You've just
they end up in the Shadow Court.
Yeah, you fully bite down on the black pill with that flaw.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One last thing I forgot to mention. This one, the 5 dot merit, puddle.
Yep, that's my favorite one.
Yeah. Tell us about the puddle.
As the centuries slithered past, the Sluagh slowly lost their ability to assume any form they desired. Gradually, they became more and more restricted in the shapes they could assume. Eventually, locked in a more or less human guise. But you, with the puddle merit, you can reduce your form to a flattened pool of goo on the ground, ooze through the smallest cracks and crevices, and pour yourself into containers that shouldn't be able to hold you, and then assume your proper form. none for the worse. No, worse for the wear. This trick is practically useful for spies, courtiers, and assassins. Before you do
And
this,
you
you
could-
must roll.
Yeah, you could just do this. You could
Yeah.
you could just do this, but what is the roll?
You roll strength, at stamina plus athletics, difficulty 6. But you require dexterity plus athletics, difficulty 7 to move dexterously.
And behold, that is a 5th level vicissitude ability. You can just get right out the gate.
Yeah,
Fucking-
literally, Puddle, you're just Odo from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
What is you ever Kyle, you remember owning the Sonic Mega Collection and there was a creepy ass game on it called The Ooze?
I did,
Yep,
son.
we were
I
talking about
actually
that
never
in,
unlocked the
Australia.
ooze. I don't know.
Sorry.
I didn't know how to get it.
Yeah, if you play that game as a kid, it will freak you the fuck out. That game is so creepy.
Well, it's called the ooze.
But-
I gotta watch gameplay.
Now it's like the whole like intro sequence of it too. That game could be a World for the Apocalypse adjacent game, and it would play perfectly. It's a guy who finds out that his waste treatment company is planning on polluting the environment, so they inject him with a mutagen that turns him into slime, and they flush his dead body as it's turning into slime down the toilet, and then he comes back as this ooze monster that's seeking revenge on the company. And-
Damn, it looks freaky.
Yeah. And you have all these like bit compressed screams, and the monster screams, and the soundtrack is just all nothing but low notes and menacing notes and stuff that's meant to be disgusting and free. It's a high stress game, and I can't relax while playing it. It just
Yes.
freaks me the fuck out.
Wait.
but-
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but-
Also,
Yeah,
I will-
that would be right up the Sluagh's alley too.
Yes.
now then,
Yep.
there's many treasures they have, but I will only say troop 2. Then end on one final note before I'm about done. The first treasure I'll talk about is the Grey Vines. It's a level 2 treasure. You basically have a vest that's the color of fog, but if you people to look at it, it looks like it was done by vine. But in reality, if you spend a point of glamour, you can slither outside from your wrist gray vines that have the dexterity and strength of 5, 3 health levels, and they cause 3 levels of health damage anytime they hold a person.
Holy
And that's-
shit!
That is nasty
Jesus.
damage.
It's a level 2 treasure, by the way.
Damn!
That's
Yeah, so
fucking
put 2
wild.
points in that in your background, and then boom.
And
Don't
the
mess
final-
with the pixies. See you later, Stinky. Sorry.
And here's another one, which is why I believe in my head that the Redcaps and Sluagh are connected. They have their legendary treasure is called the Cold Light.
It'll take a while to
Yeah.
guess what that does.
Yes, the power. Actually, yes, take a wild guess because it's not what you think it is.
It has the power to stab people.
No, not necessarily.
Tell us what this does.
Yes, the Cold Light's power, yes, it can do intense cold to everything and anyone, probably enough to freeze you solid, but its power is basically you can make someone tell the truth and the absolute truth. Not
There
even
you go.
fairy magic done by the she can stop the power of truth. It is basically you cannot deceive, it's only truth.
The cold truth.
There it
I
is.
actually
The
really
cold
like
hard
that.
truth.
That's really cool.
And
I mean, the she do say a lot that they're information brokers, so that is an excellent thing to have. Might
They
get the
got- they
puka to
learned
shut
that
the
from
fuck up for
Nosferatu.
once.
Yep. Enough.
And
Yeah.
see, Ryan, what treasures do you have for us?
I picked 3.
All right, tell us about it.
Oh,
I'll start with the one that I found to be the coolest. Word Spider.
Spider.
Long
tell us-
before hackers proclaimed that information wants to be free, the Sluagh had decided that there should be no secrets kept from them. Hence, they created the Word Spider, a chimerical, mechanical, methodical breaker of codes and discoverer of secrets. Small enough to fit in the average Sluagh's palm, the Word Spider looks as if it were spun from green and gold glass. Its mandibles, however, are unusually long, and careful observation notes wiry protrusions from each, in quotations, foot.
Mm-hmm.
Bad time to get the hiccups. When set upon a page containing any sort of code, hidden text, or chimerical confusion of true words contained within, a word spider fueled by a point of glamour instantly goes to work. To observers, it will appear to be cutting, manipulating, and otherwise reordering the very letters of ink on the page, devouring the text with its bite-sized morsels, only to regurgitate it in some new order. What is really happening, however, is the word spider is spitting out the actual words of the missive. No code, no spell, no art, no hidden ink can protect a written secret from the all-seeing eye of the word spider.
And there you go.
Jesus.
So, yeah, this goes, and you just put the glassworkers out of a job. Why talk with
Right?
the machine spirit when you can just extract the information this way?
With a spider that isn't
Yeah,
the
yeah,
weaver.
Exactly.
this is people start to realize people start to realize why I keep saying the Chinese are basically mages, but unnerved.
Because you don't have to deal with consensus.
I
You
mean,
have-
hold on, let me say this. They're mage's little brother. They can do everything basically a mage can do, but only lesser, which says a lot.
But
That
And
mage encrypts his spell books. Word spider gets it.
and there you go. You do have to worry about banality because there's some places where your powers just suck, and you're not as strong as you used to be. But without consensus,
The DMV.
glamour's free. Just go ahead and do it. I fully side with the NCAA court. I see nothing wrong with these guys.
Yeah, you said you had two more, correct? What two other treasures did you think were cool?
Inner spiders.
Okay.
Creepy, crawly, dark, and dank. The inner spiders are instruments of revenge and torture. For all intents and purposes, the inner spider are tiny, chimerical arachnids.
Arachnids.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Done up in black liqueur and clockwork. Sorry, no, it's not you. It's I have a hard time reading some words. Not because it's not clear. It's just my brain mixes up some of the letters.
Yeah. You got the GIF Fenris brain working against you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I also worked 12 hours today and I'm tired.
Yeah.
Bless you.
I feel that. Yeah.
When placed in the house or sleeping quarters of their intended victim, the spinners go to work. Once the target is safely dozing, the spinners scuttle over to him and proceed to crawl into his ears, nose, and mouth, where they spin chimerical webs so thick and sticky that he may suffocate, choke, or go temporarily deaf. More than one changeling has gone mad after awakening to discover they had a mouthful of spiders.
Oh, dude, that scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie.
I told you about the fun stuff that they would do to people while they were sleeping. This is one of them.
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten into the most terrifying bits. What happens if you take them back to the deep dreaming? That's what I'm going to talk about next. But you guys keep continuing.
Let's talk. Yeah, we got one more treasure, right?
Yep. And it is the gray vines. It's pretty much whips. They appear as a vest of color fog. The gray vines look to be woven in a clever pattern, mimicking the growth of wild plants. Only close examination reveals that the waistcoat is actually made from twining thorny vines, which thankfully remain still. While this is interesting enough for its own sake, the vines do have another function. Normally worn under a jacket or a cloak, the vines can, upon command and the expenditure of a point of glamour, send its vines slithering down the sleeves of its wearer and beyond to grapple a single target. The vines have an effective strength and dexterity of 5 and cause 3 health levels of chimerical damage from their thorns for every round they hold a prisoner fast.
And I do love that because Greed did bring it up before, but yeah, getting the mechanics for it. where it's so creepy of an ability. Because, Kyle, remember when we were talking about King Breweries and we had the guy that was kept alive with grapevines? Yeah, that exact kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So nasty.
There is a note that anyone grappling or hugging someone who has this will take 2 levels of health levels of chimera folk damage.
Which is crazy, crazy levels. That
I mean, even just giving someone a hug accidentally, and you're like, "Oh fuck, there's 2 health levels." No.
Yep, just
so
gone.
you can imagine just coming up to this with your Gethemmer's fist, punching the Sluagh, and then all of a sudden those thorns wrap themselves around your wrist and fucking kill you.
Yes. Now,
take them with you.
Let's take these changes back to the deep dreaming, back to when the changes were back of their purest and most primordial form. If you were to take a Sluagh back to the deep dreaming, they lose every form of those human memories and go back to what they were, primordial aspects of reality and dreams.
Become fucking Slenderman and the Wraith and the Rake. Once they enter the deep dreaming.
If you were back to deep dreaming, they would literally become a ghost. They would be perpetual ethereal creatures.
Which is something interesting because there's a little mechanic the Sluagh have. If you die as a Sluagh, you have a chance of coming back as a Wraith instead of a reincarnated changeling.
Yeah, oh shit.
And there's one other thing.
Oh yeah,
there's a plot. Sorry. There's a plot point in the Sluagh book where we have a theory that there is a order of reincarnation with the changelings. You start as a she, and then reincarnate as a Kith going down the line, and it ends at Sluagh. If that theory is true, then when a Sluagh dies, that's it. The face soul goes nowhere. So, that adds to the black pill nihilism that the Sluagh can suffer from. Because if they believe in that theory, that's it. Fuck it. I'll do whatever I want because I'll lose everything upon death. There's no consequence. Hence why there is a huge chunk of Sluagh within the Shadow Court that have bitten down the black pill. And that also explains why they become wraiths. Because shouldn't when a Fae die, they reincarnate? Why are you becoming a wraith then? And why are you the only Kith that can become a wraith? But on top of that, Clan Keoseed. You know Vampire Clan Keoseed, where they have the Death's Head moth as their clan symbol?
Oh yeah, yeah, those fellows.
Those are made from Sluagh. That's
Really?
where they're made from.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
They don't go through Chrysalis yet.
Yep. So there you go. You got a potential Sluagh who gets vampirized and become by the Lasombra and become Clan Keoseed, the most exotic of all the vampires within the Sabbat.
I like them because they're very unique. Now, here's the second ability. Besides being able to literally phase through anything around you, yes, when you take fairies changes back to the deep dreaming, they get broken in the second ability. But you know how I said Sluagh are very perceptive? They can see a lot.
Yes.
Sorry. They can hear your thoughts.
They can hear your thoughts. Nothing is sacred around them.
Yes, I believe they roll perception, which is their perception at this point is rolling with a -4 to difficulty, and they roll you against your willpower. They can just hear your thoughts and hear your mind.
There it is.
They would not have fun hearing mine. It's just basically schizo posting.
Yes,
I imagine whenever Grimsight does that to Freddy, he just gets a new song stuck in his head. It's like, what's Freddy thinking about? And then Purple Haze starts playing.
It's like that it's that regular show episode where Rigby gets a song stuck in his head, so they have to try and play another song. Yep. It's literally that.
Just go around. Now that'll be a big benefit to the Sluagh, but also a terrible detriment. Because you remember you watched or you read The Green Mile, right?
I've seen it.
You've got John you've got John Coffey describing that his ability to read the minds of people, he can't turn that off. And he hears the thoughts of people miles away from him. And it seems to be
Damn.
nothing but hateful and spiteful thoughts he receives. And just hearing that constantly, it would be torment to have that and not being able to turn that off. So, once again, it's a massive benefit that's a double-edged sword. That's
Yeah,
just
well,
all,
Yep.
everything the Sluagh have.
And their second power, which is actually a negative benefit because it also takes every aspect the Sluagh have to the extreme. You know how they can only speak in whispers? They are so quiet now, sound can't exist around them. They literally don't make sound, period.
But just imagine how fucking creepy that would be coming up to you.
Which makes sense because they can't make sound, but they can share each other's thoughts because they can look at each other and just think at each other.
So you have an entire conversation
sense.
without speaking. It's The Shining.
Yes. Now,
It's literally The Shining.
Yep. All work and no play makes Grimscythe a dull boy.
Yes.
yes. Now let's talk about the Redcaps. You know how it's now. Now I looked at the rules at 20th edition. It takes 3 turns for a Redcap to eat a live human.
Yes.
Just a full-fledged human.
That is
yes, the Redcaps
that
do
is
that.
18 seconds.
They will, they will eat people, by the way. The Redcaps have no qualm against doing that.
Oh yeah, I should
But they do
probably
have
mention-
rules for it. If you eat them dead, just do it wherever. If you eat them live, throw them into dreaming first, then eat them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The Redcaps will regularly eat each other and eat other changelings. Here's the thing, though. If they were to eat a changeling alive, like wholly, and the changeling wasn't able to get out, he'll just pop out of existence somewhere. But they will have a chimerical death. Oh, we should probably explain that. Changelings have 2 lives, chimerical and their rare one. You can kill changelings chimerical death like 100 times; they'll just get back up later because you didn't really kill it. You just knocked out their soul.
Yes. And then the other death,
Is where they actually die.
which is the cold iron induced death.
That is permanent death,
Yes.
where it kills the changeling's soul.
Yeah, avoid that at all cost.
Yeah, and now because of that, you know how Redcaps now when they go to the deep dreaming, because Redcaps are born with a primordial hunger, it is so intense a Redcap has to roll willpower not to eat anything near them. That's not a Redcap.
Exactly. It's because it's delicious. They just eat whatever that is around them, and they'll just do it.
Magically
Yeah, and
delicious.
you know how it took 3 turns for a Redcap to eat someone out? It takes 1 turn for a Redcap to eat a whole person.
And
So it's like if I feel compelled to do something extremely repetitive for no apparent reason, I literally have to roll my will against it. It's
No,
pretty
you don't
annoying.
understand what that means. It basically means I could theoretically in 2 turns eat a whole werewolf.
there you go.
I feel like
Grim,
I
werewolves
think
and
just need
Krynos are
one
bigger.
turn.
That'd probably take 4 turns, I
I'm
think.
talking about in the final form.
You can
I'm-
do it
I'm
in cross
talking
form,
about the
yes.
final form.
Well,
So-
what was it?
Yeah, there you go. Danny, if he want to, could eat Grim.
But yeah, this is like I said before. This is them on their deep dreaming forms.
He could try.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
by that point of deep dreaming, your mouth takes up your entire head when you're in the deep
No,
dreaming.
your mouth
as a red
takes
cap.
up your entire body. I
It-
bet.
You just turn into a
just
floating
a
mouth. You turn into Andros from Star Fox 64.
you turn to Pac-Man.
Waka waka. Can we
Yeah,
get
you
a
know
picture of Danny playing Pac-Man? It's
Also,
just
one
he's
more
just
thing.
like,
You know
hey,
how
for
this
real,
time
for
pay me.
real.
yeah, you know how the interpretation of the red caps are bad enough.
Yes,
Occasionally, red caps actually produce an aura of fear around themselves. You actually have to roll willpower to get next to them.
because you recognize it's your primal instinct, your brain telling you danger, danger, danger. That thing is going to kill me when you see it.
Yeah. Now, I want to say that now this is second edition where they describe how each one went about their unique powers, which is so much better than 20th edition because it gave so much flesh in what they origins are. But
Yeah.
I don't want to say this so much, but if you were to take a troll to the deep dreaming, he would use werewolves as fucking bowling balls.
Given that they have 11 strength.
Yeah. Let me say this. If a troll gets +8 to their strength in the deep dreaming.
So there we go. You outdid the cross form. You outdo the fucking cross form.
Yep.
Oh man. When we talk about
Man,
trolls,
I
we're
think
gonna be
you
very
even
happy.
outdid Duncan.
Yeah, a little
And-
bit.
See, I believe we've been talking about changing culture throughout this entire video.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we can go right into relationships now, and that's how we end it.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
Who goes first? Will it be Grimseth or will it be Danny doing it?
I think you should go first.
All right. So let me get my notes out in front of me and let me get my fingers in my mouth. 'Cause
Wait,
the
what?
fun-
That's a little
Yeah.
sus.
yeah, the fun thing about it is that you look at the Redcaps, you look at their artwork, they don't have lips, or if they do have lips, not much in terms of lips.
I don't know. The front
They
page
have-
of the
they
Redcap
have
book,
big-
like he has a bottom lip, but you know.
Yeah, you either look like a fucking goblin or you look like Melina.
Goblin.
Yeah, they have thin strips of flesh that you call lips.
And because they're so hungry, you might eat your own lips when you get bored.
Yeah, no, hold
Or
on. No,
tongue.
no. The fun thing, a Redcap's hunger has been described as this: you are so hungry, you would rip off your own leg, fry it, and eat it. The only reason you don't do that is because you know it would stop you from not eating more.
Yep. Now, Kyle, how many times has Danny eaten a piece of Tyler?
Whenever they get in an argument and Tyler says, "Oh yeah, well bite me," and then realizes that's a terrible thing to fucking say to a Redcap. He's
He
lost a
immediately
couple of
takes you up on
fingers,
it.
probably.
I do like there's a little detail in the book saying the Redcaps are super into sports. They really like that. And there's
Oh
three
yeah, that's
sports that
right.
there's three
yeah.
sports they like the most.
Baseball.
They like baseball, they like hockey, and they like golf.
My
Yeah,
golf.
so they're like-
Yeah, we may have been digging around the Redcaps a little bit more, but also to another good factor, Redcaps have solidarity with each other.
Because we're dicks, but we're dicks to each other.
That means if you go out your way to dick over Redcaps in an area, at the moment the Redcaps find out, you will wake up and outside your door there will be 20 Redcaps with bats and axes right waiting.
And the reason why they like golf is because it gives them an excuse to get pissed off at something.
The
Yo,
Happy
Wait, what
Gilmore.
about MMA?
Yeah, I missed my. They do that's the scenes from Happy Gilmore whenever they miss their putt.
Yeah,
Just have a
here's one
John Daly Redcap. That'd be funny as shit. Eating chocolate chip
before
muffins
Grim.
and
If a
smoking
Redcap
cigarettes.
Yeah, also one more thing. If a Redcap invites you for dinner, that's the highest honor Redcaps would ever give to you. And if you can sit down there and you can eat everything a Redcap can eat, you just gain their favor, and you basically call upon them for favors in return.
Yep.
If you can,
Wait,
if
so
they invite you to
Nikocado avocado?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just have a Redcap mukbang.
The man chose his health over his wealth.
yeah, that means Grim.
And let's see.
Dinner. And I hope you can eat it.
Now,
I
but granted, that
really
food was made in the grinder, so do at your own peril.
It's made out of people.
Let's do it.
Also, another fact.
All right, fingers going in. Let's do it. All right.
Sorry, 2 ranks of Redcaps. One is the boss, and one is the chef. You don't fuck with either one of those in Redcap society.
So let's begin this story. Where should I begin? The Vagans. Right, the Vagans. It gets a little hard to pronounce some of these words. What the dudes are being. I don't get to let loose every now and then. So what do I think about the Vagans? They're alright. If I want to relax. I don't like relaxing. I want to go out, I want to fight. I want to fight the war, I just want to fight somebody. I gotta go to a bar, I'll have a fight, and I'll fight somebody. But when I go home and I'm done, a Vagan has made me a sandwich. They fixed my baseball hat. They fixed my shoes. You know how often I go to my sneakers? I blow through a pair just about every other month. So then I come back, and I was just gonna glue my shoe. No, my shoe's brand new when I come back after Vlog and fixes it. And I'm very thankful at the end of the day. So thank you, Hawkins. You're like everybody's grandpa. But I don't want to be grandpa every day. I enjoy you at this distance.
They're
See,
just
I
like
respect that.
it's just like everybody, the fey Chinese sweatshop worker.
They're busy as a bee. That work is play for a bargain. And, well, fighting is play for the Redcaps. So they don't really have a reason to talk to each other that much, but when they do, they do.
And basically, it's just, fucking Elmer sitting in a tree going,
Hello, I see you over here with the baseball bat. Would you like a cookie?
So, yes. It'll wash down that tasty person I just ate.
Yes, it's
No,
a cookie.
listen.
Cookie is better for you than the person. Eat the cookie.
Unfortunately,
you see
sir,
this
I
bog in
cannot
here?
take the cookie.
You see this bog in here? Anybody touches this bog is cooking, you fuck with me.
Yes, Uncle Redcap. Here, have an extra pack of cookie for being a good bodyguard. Thank you for being here.
sorry.
What's next? The issue.
Issue.
All right, good stories. You guys get a day to hang around issue. Go ahead and do it. They go talk to how many people? 30 people a day. That's a lot of guys they speak to. You learn something new every time you hang around the issue, but don't ever tell them a secret. They steal your secrets to everybody. Nothing is sacred around an issue. The deeper the secret, the better the story. I had a lot of humiliating shit happen to me because I told the wrong issue the wrong thing. Just don't tell the issue anything personal. And something personal about someone else, go ahead and tell the issue that. And there's no other way to boost your reputation than speaking to an issue. Let them know that I'm a head ass. Let them know that I'm an asshole. Let them know that I'm Danny Grandslam, and I will cave your head in with this graceful hat. That's scary.
That's what it's like with the issue.
You just
You know-
yeah, they're telling cool stories. Oh yeah, tell the story about how the time I killed this thing.
Share dirty laundry, but not your dirty laundry.
Yes.
See.
Kick your mother up, kick your mother down.
Yes.
Don Henley intensifies.
That's a reference to an 80s song.
I know. Yeah.
I-
fucking
I-
dirty
I
laundry.
fucking hate the Eagles.
Yep.
A long day, man. I hate the fucking Eagles.
You wanna get the fuck up out of my car? It's my car. I can play with whatever the fuck I want.
All right.
Stay out of
Knockers
Malibu,
next.
Lebowski.
The Knockers. I don't like these guys. Yeah. What do? You take metal, you make a little toy of it. You make a launcher that walks. You make the left-handed automatic cannon footer. Oh, fuck your invention. I don't care what you just built. Now, you see this? We'll put down the table in front of you. Look at that. It's a chainsaw, a two-handed chainsword. I saw it in 40K. Yeah, make me one of those, and I'll like you. But until then, keep your stupid shit to yourself. I don't care. And also chill it with the swearing. I mean, I swear too, but damn, you are just downright disgusting when you speak. Wash your mouth out yourself.
And not the best relationship all said and done.
I don't think anybody likes the Knockers, if I'm being honest.
No, nobody really does.
I
Yes,
absolutely
Knockers
love them.
actually have the same flaw that Redcaps have in 20th edition. I have to check back with 2nd edition, but they both have the flaw bad attitude.
Where
I mean-
the knockers will all talk, though.
I mean, I
The
like the
Knockers not gonna-
Knockers personally just because, I have a lot of people in my family who either worked construction or
Jewish.
worked as miners or worked as truck drivers.
Jews.
All of them. No, that's my dad's side of the family. No, my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family was all tradesmen, and they swore like sailors.
Exactly. When you work in a manufacturing job and you just say whatever you want to anybody.
I do that in
manufacturing.
retail. I use construction language in retail because it's entirely warranted with some of the fucking idiots I work with.
You do that around your coworkers. You don't do that in front of the customers, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Depp, I'm actually getting my 69 barrel shotgun commissioned by a knocker. It's been approximately 6 months now. I still owe debt plus interest to him, and yeah, a little bit of a mishap and miscommunication on both of our ends, but I think I shall resolve it in a bit. Hopefully, I'm not sure.
They make a lot of fun guns.
If it's in debt, that's probably why you haven't gotten it yet.
Hi. Who's next?
Fair point.
Fuka? Ah, shit. You know what they taste like? They don't taste like chicken. Tastes like blood. Just blood in my mouth. Not even the fun kind of vampire blood either. Yeah, they look tasty. They're not tasty though. And also,
yeah, no.
Fucking too. No, Cherryhoxes, and they lie and they throw pranks. I don't like pranks. I play the pranks. I don't like being pranked. All right, get away from me with your bullshit. All right, how don't you fight? How don't instead of hiding behind Tyler all the time, you actually come up and you say something to my face? Oh, you're too chicken shit to do that. Instead, you're gonna play with this whoopee cushion and the electric doorknob. Say that to my face. We'll see where your face ends up after I cave it in and throw your ass across the pavement. We'll see how many pieces of you are left behind. You piece of shit. Get on my face with that shit. Catch you outside, I'll tell you what.
Gurney, just stand behind me.
Once again, not the kind of person that Puka should be pranking.
No, but they're going to anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even stated in the rulebook, when in 20th edition, when they were talking about Puka was talking about the Redcaps, it's fun to poke fun at them. Just hide behind the troll.
Yeah, that's exactly. So Redcap is going to take that personally if you try pulling that on them. Let's see. What's next? The satyrs. So you got a joke. A satyr walks into a bar. There's a Redcap there. The satyr knocks over Redcap's drink. The Redcap says, "What the fuck? Well, getting another one, right?" The satyr looks at him and says, "Eat me." And so he did. Thank you for laughing. So I don't really have anything against these guys. I like a quick fuck. I'm a sick fuck who likes to quick fuck. These guys fuck a lot. Like a lot. I mean, we're talking guys who are beaten off 4 times a day. I don't have that kind of stamina. I don't have that kind of time. But I do like that you let loose. Nobody's more honest than you. So thank you for keeping it real. Just stay away from an asshole, all right? You're going to want... I'm good for 1 hour, not 5, all right? I'm a busy man. So, see you later, dog.
Fun thing. Even though in the rulebook they try to make it sound like, that's not about sex and love, but no, the origin of satyrs is about unrestrained boners.
These guys are walking around with their dick hard in their pants all day. That's
Meanwhile, a Redcap, if they come across a satyr, it's blow your load and hit the road.
You don't want to get blown by a Redcap, they're going to buy it off.
Well, no, that's why the satyr does the work.
Never get head from a Redcap.
It's all teeth, too.
In World of Darkness, you are not the most bravest people in the world would get a blowy from a Redcap. You are brave.
You would ask Azamichi for sex first. Let's see here.
Ouch.
I'll even think as fucked up as the Setites are, I don't think they would touch a Redcap.
No.
That's why in my head, you earn my respect if you can ask a Redcap for a blowy.
Oh my god,
you know it's not going to end well.
That's just a sick twisted dare.
Yeah. See.
Yep.
Who's next? The she. Were you paying attention at all during the history? I don't like them. Nobody likes them. I'm tired of pretending that the she are worth a fuck. You come in. You think you can just swing your dick around and I'm not going to fight it off? I didn't elect you. I didn't ask for your opinion. I didn't ask you to come in and tell me what to do. Tyler tells me about the Silver Fangs. You're the Silver Fangs by another name. You want to get on my face with that?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break you over my knee. I'm gonna break your nose. You understand me? Because I had enough of your crap. Alright? I will break your jaw, I will knock your teeth out, I will break your nose, and I will break your neck. In fact, I'm gonna kill you. You understand that I am going to fucking destroy you if you get away with that. It's only a matter of time before we throw your asses out of the courts. I hope it's today.
Curtis, I'm going to say for my sake, he's on his own this time.
It's contested with the Sluagh as to who hates the she more. The Redcaps or the Sluagh, who hates the she more.
Well, hold on. It's who hates the she more? No. To be fair, both of them can actually respect the she. Yeah, no, it's about who hates them more.
Because it's like the Ventru. They do make the good call every now and then.
Every now and again.
Next up.
That ain't happening, sir.
See. The Sluagh. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff in common, actually. I mean, people hate us, and we like blood, and we eat gross shit. Yeah, we're very tight, in all honesty. We got a lot of stuff in common. If only you weren't so fucking weird sometimes, dog. I mean, I saw a Sluagh one time pick up a man's used condo and he put it on a corkboard next to a bunch of other condos. That's just nasty.
What?
I eat wooden boards and nickels and sometimes a man's sock. I don't do shit like that. But besides that, as long as you don't. How about I invite you to my house? I don't want to go by your house. Just come over. We'll hang out in my place, all right? Sounds cool, buddy. I'll see you at 5.
I saw you eat a kid and then dye your hair in his blood. You don't have much room to talk.
Calm down. He was delicious.
Look here. I gave the kid a knife, and if they can stab their way out my gut, they don't die. He just wasn't fast.
You heard of the Goat and 7 Kids? Yeah, we're going to reenact that story.
I just wanted to teach him how to do tarot card readings.
I find it really funny. I find that really funny that that's actually one of my favorite Brother Grimm stories.
Really good.
It's essentially a author's barely disguised fetish of vor.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the
Think
whole
of
thing,
it.
like,
The
he
goats
eats 6
alive.
children, he balloons, and then the mom cuts out the stomach and then fills it with stones, and then he falls into a river and drowns.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. It's like,
And with the collection part, I've been collecting bottle caps lately. Now I'm going to Lithuanian bottle caps.
and I'll do the trolls in character, and then everything else I'll just do subjectively.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
The trolls. Pretty badass, actually. I mean, a troll, strong. You see how strong these guys are? I mean, I'll cave your fucking face in, but a troll, just with one thumb, they'll knock your head off. Just with one thumb. Really strong, dog. Just, don't necessarily need to play by your rules, alright? I'm not a knight. Do I look like a knight? Don't you come with all this honorable combat bullshit, and you say I'm not allowed to go for your nuts, or your eyes, or anything like that? Yeah, you're taking the fun out of this, alright? I want it to hurt. I want there to be blood, alright? So, yeah, let's fight like a man for a change, not like a knight. But besides that, dog, I really got nothing against them. Besides that, I just got nothing against them.
Yeah.
One of the... They like the trolls, but the trolls don't like them. We'll talk more about that later.
Anything on the Nenhi or the end anime?
See, do I look fucking Native American to you?
No,
They're Scandinavian.
You're there.
Do I make it an eye color test for you? Now, I honestly got nothing to say about the Nenhi, and neither has any Redcap I've ever talked to. I mean, they exist, and it sucks to happen to them, but yeah, I can't do nothing for them. I got my own problems, dog. I can't cry tears for somebody I don't know.
What about the
And,
an anime?
Yeah, pretty cool. Just, yeah, that's it really. Cool.
Her apples were good.
You're right out on lunch. So it's like seeing like a man covered in neat walking around that's a person. It's a very tasty stone you're made out of.
Oh right, the anemone. Never mind, I'm not gonna bring it up. We'll get to the moon. We'll talk about the anemone. If
Sea
we do
anemone.
another.
Anemone.
And then
I
I'll
knew you were gonna reference that.
Yes.
I'll do my just normal talk about everything else. The vampires. They think it's funny to go up to a vampire and kidnap it. They'll stake vampires, drag them back home, and then they'll just eat off of them. As long as they feed them some blood, they'll grow back. So they kidnap vampires, Doc.
Hey, you get free food forever? That's great.
And there it is. And you get high as shit off of eating it, too. Because of Vampire Vitae.
Tyler's gonna come over to fucking Danny's house and just see like a gangrel or a caitiff just staked up in his house. Like, Danny, the fuck is that?
Hi, Tyler.
It's Leo.
Hey,
Pull
Tyler,
over.
it's me,
Hates the line already. You like alcohol, don't you?
He found me in the vents.
Is that one of the fucking Malkavians we've been looking for?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm up in the vent. I was cleaning it up.
Yeah.
But I guess Danny didn't like that, so
I
I'm
turned
here
it
now.
into a
Hey, can you
wonderful
stop biting
fillet.
my big toe?
Now,
Okay.
he grills very
Sounds cool.
nicely. You saw that?
Yes.
They do say they don't actually encourage that though, because you go after one vampire, there's 20 other vampires that are going to come after you once they realize one of them is missing.
Yeah, vampire.
I'm an Artarchus. Nobody cares about me.
Easy. which explains why none of our wards have gone off around the studio.
Yes.
And
Look here. I can make a spell that allows me to teleport anywhere I want. I can get that character creation. You cannot stop us from getting to your house.
the Tremere. Next up, the werewolves. The Redcaps fucking love the werewolves. You can guess why.
Cause you kill shite.
All right.
Hello, Danny.
All right. Next one, mages. They say, fuck mages. They really hate wizards because you're just doing what they're doing, but worse. So how do you find a mage? Get them in public. Just get the mage in public. They can't do shit to you there.
To be fair, that works for us, but it's actually a changeling could actually endure being in public eye.
Or just grab a hostage and then use them to induce the paradox. Easy enough, right? And who's next? Wraiths. They don't like them. Namely because it's stuff that's weird and creepy, and they aren't fully on board with weird and creepy. On top of that, wraiths can do stuff to them that they don't really have any control over. So the less they spend around wraiths, the better. Yeah. and then hunters, as in the imbued from Hunter the Reckoning, that freaks them out. They're actually scared of imbued hunters. And it's because like the big G god came down from heaven and gave you the light and now you're going out and you're looking for us, humanity's most primal and dangerous predator. That freaks them out.
I don't have a problem with that comment, but okay.
That freaks them out because now the hunter is being hunted and they don't know how to react to that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely, me too.
And that's their relationships. Now, how did the Sluagh feel about everyone else?
Okay. Let me make sure that my voice comes through in the chat since I'm being quiet.
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. I guess it's my turn then. So, starting from the top. The Boggins. Well, a little bit of background. Sluagh, well, most people know that we know a lot. So, it's hard to make friends with people when you know all their dirty laundry. I really don't like knowing as much as I do, but all we do is tell the truth, and we can't help but ignore that. But with the Boggins, they put on a remarkable facade of altruism. They don't ask for praise. They act friendly around us whenever we do something for them. And then, when they're on their own, they complain about all the hard work they do. They feel like they're always mistreated, taken for granted. I try not to ask too much of them. most Seelie, like myself, tend to be more patient with them. Most of us recognize that they're just impatient with all the work they have to do. A lot of people find them egotistical because of all they can do, but in all honesty, they're just insecure. They just want to help. The Unseelie will just take advantage and lie to them as much as they can. I don't like that myself. So, with that, the Seelie basically, just tend to be very patient with them, try not to ask them for too much, because they understand that the Boggans have a lot on their plate. A lot of people rely on them. And that, they're very insecure about the work that they do, which is why they have to talk up what it is that they do. The Unseelie, however, will just fucking wring them for all they're worth. They will squeeze them. They will pinch pennies till they bleed. And then basically feed them a little bit of, half-true information as quote-unquote payment and send them on their way. The Unseelie are just unkind to the Boggans. What's up?
There you go.
I feel their pain. I was like that when I was raised by the Sabbat. That's why I left.
I don't know, the only Sabbat I met were either fucking insane or actually quite nice. I mess around about. He was a good man. Sorry, swapped characters there. But anyway, Issue. In all honesty, I've got nothing but respect for the Issue. In fact, I kind of envy them. At least with Freddy, I get to travel the world like they do. I love to hear their stories, and I learn a lot from them. We sort of respect each other. Not usually the Issue aren't a huge fan of visiting me when I'm at home. They're not a fan of the spiders. But usually it's good to hear their stories. We'll listen to them as long as they like, until they start making us miss adventure. And then we just kind of go back to our studies like we usually do. The Unseelie, they're a bit less kind to the Issue. A common thing that they'll do, when an Issue tells a story, they'll just say that a knocker told them the same story, call them unoriginal, try to ruin their good spirits about it. Well, the Issue are better than that. So, Seelie love to hear their stories, but they also kind of envy the fact that Issue can go wherever the fuck they like. The Unseelie just talk mad shit about their stories, like, lol, faking gay. That's basically what the Unseelie do.
The Issue just seem to be like the beautiful ones amongst changelings, where nobody really hates the Issue.
I love the Issue.
Yeah, to dive into the Issue a little bit, they're not originally from the European myth. They're more from the Middle East, actually.
Yeah,
they're very well 101 Arabian Nights when you look at their designs.
Like, I personally, if we do ever do Changeling, I would love to play an Issue. Like, I remember...
You've got Sharif.
Sarif,
Sharif the Sheriff.
I was going to call him Sarif. If I ever got invited into that Changeling game, the concept I would have done is that he's a substitute teacher that always teaches music class to inspire kids to sing and play and, and express stories through music.
He sings a whole new world.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that was the idea that I had. Sadly, I never got around to it, but that's what I would do if I got into a Changeling game.
Need a song about sex.
What? No. That's a satyr, not an Issue. God damn it. Anyway.
Knockers.
All right, who's next?
Knockers are just busybodies. They're wasteful. They're unpleasant. Freddy made a joke that said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But an engineer would say, if it ain't broke, it doesn't have enough features. And that's the Knockers in a nutshell. And also, they can't stop swearing. Well, Freddy, Gurney, and Serenthi all swear a lot, but Knockers take it to a whole new level. Even Freddy's stat said he hasn't heard somebody use that foul a language since he was in the service. The Seelie have a sort of grudging appreciation for the things they build. Even if the things that they do take a lot of time and are way too complicated. They do what they're built to do, at the very least. And we'll take the time to make contacts with them if they can make us something worthwhile. The Unseelie Knockers and the Unseelie Sluagh tend to get along very well, though. An Unseelie Sluagh will go to an Unseelie Knocker and either ask him for a unique lockpicking device or a unique torture device, and anywhere from a week to 4 months, a Knocker will have some new instrument of thieving and pain that nobody else has ever seen before. So, to summarize, the Seelie appreciate what the Knockers can do if they don't like the Knockers themselves. They take way too long to do what they're supposed to do, but when they do put their mind to building something, it works spectacularly. The Unseelie get along with the other Unseelie. So the Unseelie Sluagh like the Unseelie Knockers. They go up to them, they say, hey, I need to pick this locker. Hey, I need to torture this person. And they're like, sick. It'll be done in 4 months. I'll bill you. That's their relationship.
See, I need a weapon that kills. Can you build it for me?
Yes.
There's a fucking shotgun with 58 fucking barrels in it and a laser sight and a detachable grenade launcher that never runs out of ammo. So long as you look into the magazine and yell no fucking magazine, you'll get unlimited fucking ammo.
Yeah.
I need my 69 barrel shotgun right now.
The knocker will look at you saying, coward, I will make you a 100-barrel shotgun. That's with incendiary rounds. Let's go.
There you go. No, you're
69 is a
taking with
funny
your
number.
fucking noggin.
And it'll be Gatling fed.
Yep. You got to turn
nice.
the crank. Never mind the recoil. If you dislocate your shoulders, well, that's your fault for not being strong enough to wield a fucking weapon.
Fair point. What about the nail gun from Quake? Can you do that but better?
What the fuck is a quake?
It's a video game specifically made from, I believe, 1996, 97.
I can
and
make
there's a
something
nail
better
gun.
than that. I can make you a nail gun that
alright.
shoots other nails.
I do have a
Alright.
question. to interrupt this,
What?
But is one of you guys playing shit? What's the name of the Irish werewolves again?
Oh, the Fianna.
Fianna. If one of you guys are playing Fianna, you could go to them and have them commission you werewolf armor. Fairy
There
werewolf
you
armor.
go.
Well, I mean,
that will shift into cross form with you.
either the Knockers will do that for either the Get or the Fianna.
And because these are fairies, that armor is going to be unnatural. Hold on, I'm not joking. Fairies have chainmail or full plate of armor. That's just as strong as ballistic armor, but it's less cumbersome. It gives you only a 1 minus dexterity.
Bro, fucking Knockers are. It reminds me of that meme where it's like when your level 4 plate stops the bullet but not the energy transfer, and it's LA Beast going, yes! And just throwing up everywhere.
Pretty much.
See, who's next on the list?
Oh, hey, Gurney. The Puka. Sluagh are all about telling the truth. And the Puka cannot tell the truth to save their lives. They also don't value words. They have no precision in their language. Everything they say is twisted 7 ways from Sunday, and I can't tell which way is up by the end of it. I can almost never follow their stories, and they're not all that funny. The Unseelie will use them to spread lies as far as they can. Matter of fact, they made a game out of it. A group of Unseelie Sluagh will find as many Puka as they can, and tell a lie to them. Whoever's lie gets the furthest is the winner of the contest. The Seelie, well, we don't have much patience for them. It's easy to see why, given how they can never tell the goddamn truth. Most Puka are afraid of Sluagh. Doesn't make any sense, though. I mean, I've seen Puka turn into spiders and rats. I don't know why they'd be afraid of me.
Gotta love it.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
So that is actually a quote from the book, and I'll pull up that page where they say so. That
Nobody understands the Puka.
no, but it is like in the book. The Sluagh will tell the Puka the exact truth. Oh yeah, Unseelie most often deal with Puka when they need a lie spread. In instances like this, the Sluagh will tell the Puka the exact truth of the situation. Then he'll sit back to watch the fun as the Puka runs off to spread distortions all over town. The fact that...
I want to say...
What's up?
Sorry.
Good.
I'll say this one thing in the fact of the Sluagh. Even though portions make them sound as creepy as goddamn hell, which they are, they can actually be civil and not be absolute fucking troglodytes.
Yeah.
Because I imagine cult, you show their artwork. They look like they can belong to society. Their clothing is just weirdly decorative.
Yes. That's just part of what they do.
Yeah, they can't be in society. They can't sit down and have a coffee with someone. They just be like, so, what's your favorite type of spider? Mine is the African spider.
Oh, mine is the jumping spider.
No.
And the Australian peacock.
Yeah, no, hold on. A Sluagh is the golf GF that's saying my golf GF wanted me to participate in a blood ritual.
I want mine to be precisely 7 feet tall, 6.5 inches, large cleavage, and brunette hair.
Why are you ordering a goth GF like you're at the dollar menu at McDonald's, my man?
Stick together.
Wait, hold up. Let him cook.
Because I have preferences. And she has to be a
Fan of Death Note.
Rapnos. Yes.
No,
Rapnos.
Dad.
Absolutely.
I
Love
want
the
a
Rapnos.
sister.
They're like
Not
me,
just
but
any
not
kind
as
of
demented.
sister. I want the kind of sister with shapely hips and get stuck in washing machines.
Nice. Oh,
That is my favorite
I
bit to
am
do is Bobby reading Brother Sister. And then Hank goes, I'll tell you, Peggy, that boy ain't quite right. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You have a troll GF or a Redcap GF because they will make you feel safe at the same time.
Troll GF. Troll GF. That's why Serenthia exists. Troll GF.
She'll turn your penis into juice when she kiggles in you.
That is a price
But
I
then
am
she
willing to
had get
pay.
all the piercings on it.
Hold on. The moment they hear someone say, "Man, your man's a pussy," he says, "That is my man, and I would defend this honor. Fight me." Wait, what?
That was Tyler's relationship with Elmira through the entirety of Rage Across New York.
Really was.
Oh, my balls hurt.
It's like, Elmira would always say, he might be a loser, but he's my loser.
Yeah, no. You just got after an intense session. They say, "All right, time for round 3." Wait, what?
That ends the road with Ham in the new Let's Play or new Live Play.
We're talking about with all this sex. We can talk about the sexiest of all the Kith.
Oh. Hey, Danny. Redcaps. A lot of them brag about winter, but yeah, I haven't seen it. In all honesty, the Redcaps, they've got no subtlety. They're wasteful in the way they do things, they're noisy, they're unpleasant to be around. But one thing that the Sluagh love to do, it's because we can do it better than them. We love to watch them squirm. Occasionally, a silly Redcap will be respected by the Sluagh, because we both like, causing fear. Between the Unseelie, the Sluagh and Redcaps have an uneasy truce. But if a Redcap steps up to you with an attitude, don't be afraid to show him the dark, and every reason to be afraid of it.
Anyway, yeah,
yeah. You see the kinship, right?
yeah.
So what did you do today?
Yep.
Oh, I tore a man's head off and showed it to his friend. And then I ate his spine.
Oh.
I knocked
Cool.
it off with a home run swing. You should have seen it. Blood everywhere. Striking at that. It's landed and striking his skull.
Oh yeah.
I covered an entire man's room in spiders, and then put the heads of his children underneath his bed as he slept.
Wait, what?
Danny, if you do not mind me, I'm going to lick the floor now since you made quite the awful mess, and I have to lick it with my tongue
Yeah, Case will lick
specifically
the floor.
because reasons. Yep.
You're a terrible liar.
Tastes like strawberries and Mountain Dew.
What?
How does so? What do you
Yes,
have to?
I am an
how
awful
much? How
liar.
much fucking Code Red do you have to drink in order for your blood to taste like that?
It is the best flavor.
I don't know.
I'd-
Ask a vampire. And
I don't know. Mountain Dew Voltage is kind of tight.
It tastes
What
identical
about
to Purple
Baja
Thunder.
Blast?
Well, yeah, Baja Blast is the unequivocal goat, but in the absence of it, Voltage is a good substitute.
Yeah. Also,
All
I
right.
was saying one. We may be saying this. Changeling may not be the sex game, but dear God, can you get freaky with their power?
You get
Oh,
super
yeah.
sexy with it.
Well, no,
Like
you
the staters.
you can. You just that is true. We do have to talk about that. So
We'll talk them in the Satyr episode.
The satyrs
But
are
I will leave on one quote. The first level of power, you can give yourself a 20-inch peen.
There we go.
But that must be really uncomfortable because it's just a giant bulge in between one of your thighs. If
Don't
it's
worry, don't
flaccid,
worry.
of course.
Don't worry.
Yeah, they call him
I can make it
tripod.
Penis power.
They call him.
Handstand without the hands.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta actually send you that image, jokes aside.
Oh, I thought of something funny. With the power of naming, I could literally rewrite Grimm's entire being and take
You
all
really
of his
can.
strength and intelligence.
All right.
Oh Jesus.
Who-
So
who-
satyrs.
Satyrs.
So the satyrs have a very, very odd relationship with the Sluagh. It is the intensity and sensuality of the satyrs versus the logical, cold detachment of the Sluagh. Most young satyrs just see Sluagh as the unattainable, but worth pursuing for the challenge of managing to get us into bed. But but when we do actually get to talk, and it's talk above the waist, they do actually have a lot to talk about. The older and more restrained satyrs are among the few outsider Kithian, welcome at the high teas. Their stronger passions lead to new insights that we otherwise wouldn't have thought about. And for those that do make it into bed, they produce some fascinating secrets. They're very willing to talk once you've loosened them up a bit. Seelie Sluagh tend to avoid satyrs unless they're both mature enough to hold a conversation. The unseelie just use them as tools for loosening lips, and that's about it.
The way you loosen them up is that you start with 2 fingers, then move up to 3.
No, shut the fuck
And
up.
then once-
And then the
Eventually-
whole entire fist,
No, oh, for fuck's sake.
and
you
then
get the big
two
Wreck-It Ralph hand.
fists, and
Hold
then
on,
you
hold on,
have
wait,
two arms in the circumference.
No, we're not. No.
Hold on.
God damn it, Vic.
Well, it's just science. It's just physiology.
Vic, shut
That's
the
how,
fuck up.
Da Vinci
I
did his
have
art.
a feeling we're
Okay.
gonna have to
Age restrict the
restrict
video,
this-
yes.
age restrict this video.
You're going to have to get
Oh,
the get
goodness.
get the Zumichi GF, and you can do exactly that with her.
Everyone chill. Everyone.
Absolutely not. She is going to take away my missing flesh from my face and replace it. No, that is no bueno. I do not like that because it's good advertising for my business.
All right, everyone. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Just remember this: a Sluagh is boneless. They can go into your entire intestine system. Anyway,
You get to do that scene with the boys where you crawl up the man's pee hole.
That's
With the Sluagh.
disgusting.
It's
It's like Ant-Man going into Thanos' ass.
Oh yeah, that's I've seen that fucking meme. That's
Except
funny.
they debunked that because if that was the case, then he could just use the the stone to rewind Ant-Man out of his ass and then beat the shit out of him.
exactly. I love those 2 characters.
Yep. Anyway. Well, no, that was because he collected all the Infinity Stones. But anyway.
Yep.
Uh,
She.
Most of us Sluagh don't like the She. We know too much about what they've done to get where they are. And we know exactly, just from looking at them, how much the She looks down on us. But that also allows us to take some perverse pleasure in making them very, very uncomfortable with us. It's fun to just play into the creepy stereotype just to mess with them. And we make the She an audience for this performance and just watch them squirm in their seats. It's odd because we know exactly how they got to where they are, but we do have an appreciation for all they build. Some of us Sluagh have been granted post in absentia after the shattering occurred, and local Sluagh can have found a way to decide which of the nobles' courtiers are trustworthy, although those who are trustworthy aren't really popular in the She courts. Honestly, Sluagh take a much more active political stance. It's rumored that the Shadow Court is full of unseelie Sluagh. As far to my knowledge, that's true. And they take incredible delight in tormenting the more pompous She. Of course, what's Sluagh worth his salt doesn't. But no Sluagh worth himself would waste the time to wait in attendance on a lord, and we're usually better off freelancing to them. The less time we spend around them, the better.
Go. So, yeah, She good at your job, but I don't have to like you because you're good at your job.
Yeah, basically. It's like you built this cool society, but you're also kind of a fucking prick to us, so...
You also took away the society that we built by ourselves without you.
Twice, mind you.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting into the She episode because everybody seems to have an opinion about them.
It's same thing with
all
with the Silver Fangs and the rest of the Garrow. It's one of the reasons we left them like near the end of the Garrow episodes.
But the thing is, the She don't have a book. They have a book about their houses, but they have no history book because the She didn't fucking do anything.
That's kind of funny.
They didn't come out until the 70s.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's actually funny.
So
yeah, they realized, we gotta make a She book. Well, what the fuck are we gonna put in it? There's nothing to put in the She book.
Well, actually,
so you just made a book about the houses.
It's literally just a paragraph.
Yes.
That's it. The She book is just mechanics, and that's it.
Now
it's just a miniature pocketbook the size of your thumb.
Yes.
Let's see.
Now the trolls.
Troll!
The trolls seem to believe that all of us Sluagh are honorless, blackmailing creatures. We wonder how the troll knights could have vanished in mazes that don't exist, because there's always rumors of the trolls going down into large tunnels in the underground and being killed by whatever's down there. It's not actually us, but they blame us anyway. The Sluagh at large actually like trolls, and we have a great amount of respect for them, but the trolls don't believe that when we say that. Even though we've known each other since the Kithian first roamed both planes. The trolls aligned the Sluagh with the Seelie court once the courts were actually founded, but after years of ill relationships and miscommunication, the trolls only believe that us Sluagh are betrayers. Sluagh who know about troll history don't really know what to do about it, though. Most Sluagh just kind of accept it for now. Though the trolls have been through enough for us to try and mess with them anymore. The unseelie Sluagh seem to take a lesson from the genie. They're experts at manipulating the honor-bound trolls. Of course, it's good to have an 8-foot-tall killing machine helping you out when things get rough. Part of the reason that Freddy keeps Saranthia around. Sluagh often blackmailed the trolls if things aren't going their way, but the Seelie tend to keep their distance from them. Many trolls don't trust Sluagh information even though we do know everything. So basically, it's complicated between the trolls and the Sluagh. The Sluagh really like and respect the trolls, but the trolls don't believe a damn thing that they say. They've known each other since Kithian first roamed Arcadia and the Mortal Plane, and it was even the trolls that brought them into the Seelie court. But after, some faulty information, they just don't trust them at all.
and they continue to like slander their name forever. But the Sealy just kind of put up with it because we know everything that they've done and will do, so it doesn't really matter anymore.
Hold on. My bad. After pulling up my book, I found out I did say some of their powers wrong for what their powers would be in the deep dreaming. My apologies. Let me correct myself.
It's all good.
All right.
The Sluagh do not turn into ethereal, but they can turn into vapor or liquid and drift through things. Yeah, they can roll their glamour rating as dice to force the way through even magic barriers. What? And they can use shadows as actual portals.
Fascinating.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Same thing too. Like everybody loves the trolls, but the trolls have very high standards, as we will learn when we read the trolls book.
Yep. And let me see here. Yep. For the sharpest senses, they roll wit perception plus wits difficulty 4. They can just see and they can see through illusions. No, they can see through illusions, read people's thoughts, and they're bullshitly hard to sneak up on.
Gotta love it. I really do like this game because we've got 2 bad people, but you notice something. Now that these guys are really Fomori aligned, I mean, we do have the denizens, which are the straight up fucking evil changelings, but these guys are bad guys, but they do bad in the right way. They're doing it with a purpose. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon villain, where
the whole purpose is to teach the hero a lesson rather than to take over the world.
Yeah, it's like you need people like me. You need people to point out and say that's the bad guy. They're
antagonists, but they're not villains.
Yeah,
that is busted.
They're anti-heroes.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah. Let me pull back one time for the Redcaps. If you were a Redcap intimidation rolls and the deep dreaming is lowered by the difficulty of intimidation by Redcaps, and the deep dreaming is lowered by 8.
By 8?
Yes.
That's like an automatic success on most creatures.
Yes.
and the difficulty to being intimidated by a Redcap is raised by 4.
There it is. So you get to play as the scariest motherfuckers. You get to play scary in a psychological way and scary in a intimidating way.
Yes.
And I may have gotten these wrong, but they're still so constantly broken.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. Because they're creepy in 2 different ways. Where, take like a legend where, they're going to kidnap you. A Sluagh will shoot you with a poison blow dart and then drag you back to their little Sluagh home, where you're hung on a rack and you're tortured for 14 days before you're thrown back out into your city. And you will never be the same after that 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks are done. A Redcap will just run over, smash you over the head with a wooden plank, then drag you back to your home and boil you in a soup cauldron, then eat you.
Yep.
A Sluagh comes into the room with a weird item. So, do you know what pegging is?
Oh, God, no.
Yep.
And with that scary visual, we shall end it for tonight.
I think.
So, yay.
Yeah. So,
also,
changing. They're fun.
Our bit for the show that we'll use to end our changing episodes, will Sean trust them with his 1-year-old baby?
No.
We asked him about this before the episode. The answer for both of these kits was no.
Yes.
I figured as much.
He jokingly said that. He jokingly said yes for the Redcap so his daughter would learn how to fight, but I don't think.
Well, hold on.
You're not going to let your kid grow up to be a pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on now. You can't leave your children in their hands. It's just they're going to be developed very differently than what you hope they would be. One is going to be a fucking criminal, and the other is going to be a stalker.
Pretty much,
See,
yeah.
If you want your kid to grow up to be a fucked up person, you put him around a Sluagh or a Redcap.
Yeah, basic. That about tears it.
There it is. You don't have to be a good kid. You just have to be creative.
And that's the or just, somebody who's really good at bullying or somebody who's really good at tarot card reading. I don't know. You pick.
Let that terrible influence into your life. They're better to hang around than the Red Talons.
Still though,
yes.
-8 to the difficulty on intimidation rolls. What the fuck?
Scared the shit out of you. All right,
Me
pull
too.
the plug. We're done. Get this fucking red cap and vampire out of my house. All right.
What a
All right.
Good night.
Where'd I put that broomstick? I imbued it with a fetish. I gotta get him out with that.
I'll go back into my treasure chest.
All right, Grim, you
Yeah.
back me up with this one, all right?
Oh, if
All
I
right,
have
I'm going.
to.
I'm going. Au revoir.
All right.
I'm going.
Let's get this done. G in, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Oops. Au revoir.
You're both.
I'm going.